The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
DC is back, baby.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Mauler and Az Argue About The Last of Us. I'm your host, Az. Hill versus Babyface. Welcome to the Real BBC. Joined, as ever, by my beautiful co-hosts, Gary from Nerdrotic.
Beautiful. Wow.
I was going to say gorgeous, but I guess beautiful.
Wow. My God, thank you. Wow. Hi. What's up?
Hi. How are you?
Oh, good. Remember when Star-Lord was like this?
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't, but that looks freaking awesome. That's kind of like Frazetta meets Flash Gordon meets, you know.
I just got this shirt like this morning. I just threw it on.
Nice, damn good.
Cheers.
If it wasn't so cold here, I'd put a t-shirt on, but
it's well, when is it cold to you? Is like 2 Celsius, whatever the hell your temperature.
It's 8 degrees outside right now.
It's 8 degrees. So it's pretty close probably to what we're at. We're at like 32. We're at freezing. School. The reason I'm late, my kid's here. I'm gonna blame my kid. He really had nothing to do with it, but I'm gonna blame my kid anyway. He's here because it was icy, and like it snowed like 10 miles north of us.
Fuck.
It wasn't icy at all. It just was cold, so they called off school.
Another thing, we've had like we had snow once in November and nothing up till that. But you know what we have had, where it gives that layer of rain and then hardcore low temperatures, so it just becomes a sheet of ice and everyone's slipping and falling, and that's it. Just like, thanks. Give me the snow.
Snow is.
We're meant to have snow next week.
Hmm?
We're meant to have snow next week.
I have never lived somewhere where it snowed. Well, I mean, I've camped somewhere. I've been locked up places where it snowed, but I've never lived anywhere.
Definitely imagine you camping, mate.
Dude, I can't. Dude, you can't? I used to camp all the time.
Definitely imagine you camping.
Okay.
You were in prison for 3 years.
Oh, you're making fun of me now. Okay, that's good. You should.
He calls you beautiful. He's got to balance it.
I had a dream that you made fun. You made fun of me.
I had a dream.
I had a dream,
and then we streamed together, and I made fun of you for 3
hours. I had to. It was the retaliation.
What and I was like, do? How could Gary take the piss out of me in a dream? He never. Oh,
you're like, Brain, you idiot. He would never do that.
Don't take it personally. Like, when I'm done taking a piss out of you two, I just do it to my kids on my spare time. It's fun.
Hey, before we get into the stuff, hi, chat. Quick bit of shop talk.
Hello.
While we're here, quick bit of YouTube shop talk. They've fixed the back end.
I was about to ask you that.
That's what she said.
So when you go live, it doesn't wipe out all your supers and everything.
Oh my God, they've done it. They've actually done it.
Yeah, too bad they've pulverized the algorithm in doing that. I mean, the rest of it's
Gary, let us have this victory.
Okay.
The small one.
Yes, so, yeah, tiny little.
As I always refresh it once per hour. Like I on a tick, I try to refresh it once per hour so it doesn't fucking block out on me itself and keep up with the messages to make sure I don't fall behind. But you telling me I don't have to necessarily do that anymore?
You don't have to do that.
Well, let's just say, it's obviously a work in progress.
Yep.
Because this is the first time that I've seen it.
It's a work in progress because they keep damaging YouTube over time.
Work in progress. This shit's been going on for 4 years. 4 years.
I don't know. You could just black out in 10 minutes for all I know, So.
Well, yeah, YouTube's been a work in progress since the start, but like at least one step forward, 2 steps back, right? That's how it works.
Yep.
Yeah, this is a little step forward. Now I see 10 gifted memberships from Bashy Washy prior to the stream going live. Thank you, Bashy Washy.
All right.
I see.
We don't need X-Ray Girl anymore. Just kidding. Oh my God,
dude, too fucking soon.
Is it too soon? I'm just kidding. Are you kidding me? Don't tell her. Yeah. Don't tell her that I need her. Okay. Cause like, I don't even like, I booked my own live streams. Right. And I double booked my own fucking live streams, like on the same day at the same time. And I'm like, I can't do this shit.
Whoa.
I'm a retard.
George. Oh, I still can't do it yet. My voice isn't ready. He's got a beautiful.
Oh, that voice just squeaking.
You sound like Axel on his latest tour.
Team memberships to the stream. George,
Axel.
Thank you, you naughty sausage, dude. We got stuff to talk about on Thursday. Wow.
Oh, you bastard! It's all your fault. I got those 2 hot toys. They're beautiful. The Spock and the Kirk.
Oh.
From Motion Picture. Holy shit!
They're now in a cabinet. Cabinet.
I'll pull mine up later. I'll whip mine out
my
later.
Robin's up there. I mean, this will get
Robin. Is it Dick Grayson Robin?
Yes, not Damian
It's
Wayne.
going to be the only Dick Grayson Robin we'll ever see in a fucking Batman movie.
Oh,
with Batman.
Don't worry, Gary. It won't be the only Dick that Robin sees, though. Ayo.
Hey, I don't know the memes because I don't know the Slate yet. Gosh,
we'll get there.
Sitting here in the dark.
That's a Tim Drake job. Yeah.
Oh, we can watch.
We'll get to it in a minute, dude. We'll get to it in a minute.
We'll get to it.
Molly Poo, how you doing, sweetheart?
Oh, I'm doing so good. It was funny you mentioned X-Ray Girl. She's been playing Dead Space too. That's what I've been doing. Spooky game, sci-fi game, super gorgeous game. Oh my goodness. There's fog. There's lighting that's environmental. There's all scary things happening. It's funny because if we had this podcast going back in 2007 when the game came out, I'd have been like, so good. It's just the same thing, but like I was trying to say it on stream. It's like a remix or a cover song. It's pretty close. I think Dead Space fans are very happy right now. And depending on sales, I wouldn't be surprised if the Dead Space IP is literally reanimated like they do the first, second, third. I don't know if you guys are aware, but the Dead Space 3 and EA's choices like annihilated the franchise.
I didn't play 3. After I heard what they did, I was just like, I having played the first 2. I don't want to touch the third. Then I don't want my experience of Dead Space to have been diminished.
It was such a cool thing that Dead Space 1 got like a mainstream approach when it's so niche, right? Hyper into gore and horror and sci-fi. It's just like this thing you just wouldn't quite expect to kick off, but it did. And we're there again, I guess. Because I haven't checked. I don't know if there's a sales like records or amount of players for this game I've checked yet, but man, I've been pretty impressed with it, especially with Callisto Protocol. Oh,
that's actually watching you play Dead Space today. I was just thinking, Callisto Protocol, man. I just how?
I don't.
How?
Are we talking about Hogwarts Legacy?
Yeah. Yes.
I don't want to play a magic wand game. Gosh,
I'm going to wave my magic wand, and I'm going to expel us the extreme mentors.
Yes, Expelliarmus.
I don't know anything about it.
Is that the one where you fly? Yeah, I'm not familiar enough with Harry Potter. Okay, Gary, you're clearly obsessed with Harry Potter.
No,
you clearly don't like women.
Sorry, I was trying to get into the treats. Sorry.
That's a racism right there. Because I can see a little plushie in the background. You based that on that Dumble Man, didn't you? That's why you had
the Dumble Man.
Dumble Man. That's my favorite. That's almost as bad as Jeremy's tweet yesterday. Slytherin's got snakes. I like Slytherin. Snakes.
Come on, Jeremy's a basic bitch. Leave him alone.
Yeah, Croc wearing. Pre-torn jean wearing, man pre-wearing normie. Okay.
Are you a Slytherings?
Are you a Slytherings?
Legalize Adulthood has also dropped
I'm a Dumbleman.
memberships into the stream as well. Legalize Adulthood. Thank you. Yes, he's a Dumbo. I want to start off with a super chat because it's actually got a comic question.
Ooh.
For you, Gary. From Tinen Falarudo, maybe. With a 5 Canadian, says, any recommendations for a good back issue site? Started collecting older comics, Early Image and Conan and the Barbarian stuff. Need help. Now he's paying in Canadian. So I think it's probably one for your side of the pond.
I got to find out where the guy's located because he comes to every convention and he's a French Canadian guy. And he's got like these huge tables with sets that he sells at really good prices. Email me and I'll try to get you that guy's name. I don't know if he's based in Canada. That's the problem. Otherwise, SoCalComics.com, SOCAL comics.com, Southern California Comics. Don't go to Mile High. They're totally overpriced. Most back issue sites now are insanely overpriced. And honestly, I don't know where you're located in Canada. It's better to go to little shows and try to get back issues that way. Otherwise, you're paying double. You know, even at the store, you're paying double what you could pay at a small show with the guy at the end on Sunday going, dude, I'll take that whole box for $200. And they just don't want to put it in their truck. I'm a boomer, but I know what I'm talking about. For one,
I'm a boomer, baby.
So why don't you kill me? Hey, I copied you.
Oh, good boy.
I got it for $100. I got them all for
a whole run.
Whole run for $100, dude.
Nice. I got mine for a good price. My TNG run. I got that for a pretty good price.
You guys are paying $100 for shit that grows on trees. Literally, is trees. God,
yes.
Weirdos.
The trees that people have drawn pickies on.
Oh, that's even lamer.
Pickies, you fucking Brits. Little pickies. I have my biscuit.
Oh, yeah, leaves us a little picky on there. Hey, my Graham Nolan page is in the framers as we speak.
I gotta find out far. That's
I picked out my frame, how it's going to be framed, the different layers and all that sort of stuff. UV non-reflective glass. Gave me a bloody good price, I gotta say.
Yeah, well, dude, it's worth it.
Oh yeah,
original art is gone insane as far as, and especially Nolan art, like who draws a pretty solid fucking Batman. You know, it's like definitive Batman.
I fell in love with it, dude. I fell in love with it 30 years ago.
Yep. But that's okay. They skipped all that.
Maybe 40 years ago now.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just want to jump ahead to the James Gunn stuff. Right,
do you want to? Are we right? I was gonna say. Do you want to start with The Last of Us? So
yeah,
Nolan
let's
and I
start
can
with The
shout
Last
at each
of
other,
Us,
then make
you'll
friends.
mostly be talking about it, you two, and I can bag and board my comics.
And then
you can give a thumbs up or down depending on the.
Yeah.
I okay. Well, I can be the shortest because I have no investment in these characters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I liked the first 2 episodes. I thought they were like 7 out of 10. Fine. I thought they I liked the 2 flashbacks in the first 2 episodes. I like how the second episode ended. I'm not really big on Ellie. I'm just not. People can try to explain their way around like she's supposed to be. It's the apocalypse and she's just bitter, and it's like, okay, you can still make bitter people likable. That doesn't excuse the fact that I don't see it. Maybe it'll come up later. Don't really love Joel that much, but I thought it was fine. Then I watched this one and they just take this fucking detour and I'm like, I don't care about any of this. Oh, look. It's a gay love story in 2023.
Stunning and brave.
It's about as groundbreaking as a warm cup of water. Okay. It looks fine. It looks good. It's well directed. Production design is really good. I thought that episode was just kind of boring. And I have no connection whatsoever. So I'm like, all right, okay. And it reminded me of Westworld season 2, in the 7th episode when they did this huge deviation to show the Native Americans in Westworld, and they do a whole show on them. And there's like, it's actually fine. It's actually probably the best episode in a shitty season, but it has nothing to do with the episode later.
All right.
Like that character doesn't really have any other than like, we're going to go into crack heaven. And then what a crack heaven is, there's a big crack in reality, and they walk through and their bodies just die, but then they go through and it's basically it's android heaven they go to.
Wait, Silicon Heaven?
Well, the thing is, it's a heaven within a heaven within a heaven, because it's all a simulation, like everybody guessed in the first place. So,
Of course, Angry Joe loved it. He's a massive fucking lefty. I want to do two. I want to do two supers from two different perspectives. Thor's World with a $10 says, "Hail." Sorry, well, we're wrong one. Joey Fouts with a $10 says, "Completely done with Last of Us now after the last episode. These people," he said, "These people."
Oh my God.
Cannot help themselves but insert the message. The message. Throwing it on the burn pile along with Star Wars, Disney, and 90% of streaming shows. The Daily Dose, or Daily Dose. So you should see a doctor about that, mate. With a $5 says, one of two, and there's another super for $2. Says, "I think episode 3 was good. There needs to be a clear, recognized distinction," I think he's meant to say, "between this and Batwoman." I don't know who's making that comparison, but okay.
Yeah.
You can have love stories with the gays, and adaptation arguments are cringe, by the way. Well, I don't agree with you on adaptation arguments being cringe. That's what nerds love to do. We love to discuss this sort of business.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, and
that's
I'm on record
all
saying
we talk about.
Yes.
Need to know which we're doing first instead of crossing over, right? If you want to do the adaptation argument first, or if you want to do like it was boring or it was filler first, or if you want to do what did it do for the characters first, or do you want to do how it like treats the source of respect on it. There's a different conversation to have. The one thing I really want to point out that's absolutely fascinating to me, like seriously, so fucking fascinating. We got, I think, Lil Platoon said it was like really, really good, even though he was quite critical of the first two. In I think Open Bar that you may have been in, either one of you guys, I can't remember. Jay
Probably me. I
Longbone,
think it's maybe not me. I don't know. I was in one with him.
possibly, yeah.
I don't
Jay
know if I bitched
Longbone,
about this or Velma.
I think, has said it was really good. EFAP's pretty much very much in favor of this episode. Then we moved to someone like Drinker, who's in favor of it, but got like criticisms about where it sits in the seasons and how it regards Joel and Ellie. I would say like got some people who are neutral. I think as you're much more on the I do not like this side, and you got plenty of criticism, then you can move further and enter into like people who I don't know if you guys have seen Shad. He's furious with this. He thinks it's terrible that they've jumped the shark. I've never seen such a scope of opinions from all the different people I talked to. I was like, holy fuck, we've got everything, I think.
I mean, I gotta say, after seeing what was on Twitter, when I was doing my video with Jane, when I said at the beginning, I think I'm gonna get, hammered for this, but I gotta say what I think. And I was actually quite surprised at the reaction that I got, because I thought it was going to be no, but it was kind of like I said, it was all over the place. There were people like, no, this was great. Going through to it was okay, and then to people just like no, and I was sort of like, wow, this really has kind of thrown a spanner in the works. You start, Mauler. You say your piece.
In about what, the episode or?
Yeah.
I thought it was really good. I thought it was the best of the three. I thought the writing execution was top notch. There's a couple of holes I don't like. They include him running out into the middle of the road when he's supposed to be a top notch skilled prepper.
Yeah.
Or even stuff as simple as because I can get pretty nitty gritty on this stuff, but like in the opening scene where Ellie's like, what am I supposed to do? And Joel's like, I don't know, go look around. This place has already been picked over anyway. It's like, Joel, everywhere is dangerous because you never know what is around the corner. And Tess just died, giving you like the charge of looking after Ellie. You should be, if anything, we should be seeing him be hyper protective over her, but still cold, right? Like, because she's
keep it close,
job.
but don't, but don't necessarily warm to her.
And then she seems to find us something that he's never seen before. And I was just like, what the fuck? How did you pick this place over a miss? A giant hatch in the middle of a room. It's like, well, so like, genuinely, the episode started on a bad foot for me in terms of just like, all right. But I actually thought the Bill and Frank stuff, as someone who's played the game, was a really nice expansion. But it's absolutely a different story they've told. I consider it to be both. They're both strong. I like the game one. I like the show one. And I think they serve several purposes. I do not agree with the idea that this was filler or even useless to Joel and Ellie. My favorite payoff in the whole episode is when they read Bill's note to Joel. And I think it crystallizes the point of the episode. But we can get into it if you want. That's sort of like a brief sort of overview.
Well, I mean, you bring up a really good point about the beginning, where you're saying, there's danger around every corner. No, there's not. There's no danger whatsoever if you live in their house with Frank and Bill, because you can live for 13 years and have zero problems. You can do anything. Which to me just really
nobody walked by for decades.
Oh no, they went to the gas company, just turned a knob, and now they've got limitless gas.
Yeah, but like no other raiding parties except for that one. Like it was just totally cool.
One
2 decades. Okay.
And Bill had to run into the middle of the road to cause some drama, because otherwise this would have been such a vanilla episode.
Seems to me the obvious fix for that, by the way, would have just been that Frank is too trusting, sees maybe someone who's pretending to be normal on the outside of the fence, like, hey man, can I come in to get some? And then, Bill is like, no, get away from him. And then like the guy pulls a gun and Bill gets shot trying to stop Frank from being too friendly or something. Because me and Rags were saying like he should be in a fucking bird's nest sniping the shit out of all these guys.
Yeah.
Or he would have had some bunker, some camouflage, something. And I just think from our perspective, anyone could see that was how Bill should have been. That's just by that's sort of one aspect.
Mm-hmm.
To me, there was no drama, there was nothing. I think they did a lot to destroy world building in this episode. Because they in 2 episodes, they've had a kid in the wilderness, throttle him, dump him in a fire. We're going outside the city walls. This is so dangerous here. Everything's dangerous. And then they have this utopic little piece of land. And I just in my review, I referenced this to be that episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation where the whole planet's annihilated, apart from the old man and his wife. There just seemed to be no danger in any sort of other area. And that deflated it because Bill's a survivalist and there was a very interesting story to tell. Now, I ain't got a problem with Bill being gay because I've always said I believe Bill's gay. Even though they didn't say it directly in The Last of Us, there's way too many pieces of the puzzle to not come to that conclusion, including mountains of gay porn. So, I think that part doesn't bother me. What bothered me is they instead of actually creating some drama in this world, if they wanted to retell Bill's origin story, they didn't. They pussified Bill. They removed all of the survivalist element from him, apart from that couple of minutes when he was prepping before Frank fell into one of his traps. And then after that, it was just literally, gay relationships just so perfect and utopic propaganda. It didn't add anything to the story. I don't think it added anything to the characters. It got rid of Joel and Ellie for an episode, which I'm only going to take as a positive right now, because they're not the characters that they are. And then we get this contrived saccharine. Everything's wonderful. Oh no, now I've got cerebral palsy or ME or something, and now I've got to be looked after, and you must pity me now. Everyone must just go, oh. I don't even know what they were trying to do. I really don't know what they were trying to do, because we're going to get a flashback later in the series, which is going to be exactly the same, but it's going to be Ellie and Riley. So we're going to have 2 episodes basically doing the same thing. And I just do not know where on earth we are wasting our time with this when we could have had an interesting episode with Ellie and Joel turning up to a town that Bill is booby-trapped to the eyeballs, that causes clickers to come out, which causes them to back up and use Bill's traps to take out the clickers, which causes Joel to get trapped himself. Then Bill could have saved him. Then we could have had some banter with Bill and Ellie. And we could have got the story that way. But this is now the letter in the game that you find from Frank's like, Bill, I fucking hated you. You were just set in your ways. I wanted to get out of this town. You didn't want to go. You were too scared to go past these limits, so I had to do it, and I've got myself fucking bit because of you fucking arsehole. Then he goes and hangs himself and kills himself because he doesn't want to, turn. And that was an interesting story to tell, and they just reduced it. They took all his agency away, and they just turned this into just a San Francisco wet dream. I didn't dig it. I thought it was a waste of time. An hour and 15 minutes, waste of time.
I don't know where to start.
You do your bit now, mate. I'll mute myself now.
We'll try and go one at a time with things so that we can figure this stuff out. Chat, good luck with me today. You're gonna hate me, but that's fine. So we've got you said you were upset that it's not showing enough of his agency and like skill as a sort of prepper, right?
Well, I think we got like 5 minutes at the beginning of Bill doing some prepping, and I was like, oh, okay, it's they're doing a different story, but here we go. And then as soon as Frank came along,
so the impression I got was that everything we saw of him doing, he's gonna keep doing. We just don't need to be shown it again. That's what he's gonna do for the rest of his life. One of the bigger ones that really struck me as odd is a lot of people have been saying how dumb it is that he only got attacked by one clicker in like 20 years. When it's like, oh, well, they just didn't show us all the other clickers. Like, he even says when he kills one of them, that never gets old. Like, he's obviously, like, he set everything up so that the point I get with this character is he's fucking nailed it. He was ready for this before anything happened with the Cordyceps. He's like that kind of character. He's always ready for the government to fuck everyone over and for the whole world to go to shit. So, like, as soon as this happens, he's dominating everything. But the point of the episode is that he's surviving. He's not quite living. He's not really doing anything that's exciting or fun. He's just making sure everything's safe and well honed, which is why Frank acts as like the half to his whole sort of thing. So like as soon as they gave me all the context for how he maintains water, gas, electric, food, safety, weaponry, I was like, okay, yeah, I get it. And that's how he's going to maintain it throughout. And if anything, we get scenes to show that, like, that's all happening. And Frank is like, you need more in your life. This is not enough. Like, this is lame almost. Like, yeah, you've spent everything to make everything safe and perfect. But, like, where's the spice of life? And, of course, bringing it out of him with music or trying to make things look better. Talk about the boutique or just any place that involves furniture, garnishings of any kind, be it the garden, fruits and vegetables, just growing them for the unique and specific taste as opposed to food to make sure you stay alive, which isn't necessarily what Bill was just doing. He was doing plenty that would keep him alive and have a lot of fun with too, right? Yeah, because there's wine and the meats and stuff of like much more higher brow food, one could say, as opposed to what we'd expect from a prepper. But that's what twigs Frank onto knowing there's more to Bill than just being a prepper. And that's what I got from the episode, is that those two would work almost perfect for each other. They because Frank wouldn't have survived on his own. He's not fit for a world like that. No,
Frank wouldn't have, no.
But Bill would. But Bill wouldn't be having a life that is as fulfilling without someone like Frank. Obviously, I couldn't give less of a shit whether or not it was a guy or a girl in the relationship. I'm more concerned with the human nature part of it. I thought it was... Go ahead.
I thought what you just discussed was lazy.
Okay.
I thought it was laziness that they didn't do that. They showed one clicker getting killed and him going, that never gets old. And then he might as well just have turned to the audience and gone, and now you don't have to worry about any clickers for the rest of the episode. I felt it's like, I'm a believer in show don't tell. And if you want your world to be a dangerous place, then you've got to show that your world's a dangerous place. This episode did everything to get rid of that. This episode did everything to say, hey, all you need is some wire fence and electricity running through it, and you can live forever. You'll be fine. Grow your own vegetables.
Against the zombies, yeah. I don't see why that wouldn't work.
Well, I mean, they're not in the middle of nowhere. But there was a shot that showed clearly that they are pretty near to the big city, which I imagine would have been Boston. So they're pretty close to Boston. So just having no contact, the raiding party, 6 people. There was no comeback from that. I mean, you know, there's so many different things when you haven't got any. There was no drama. There was nothing for me to care about. You know, because these two characters were so sort of, you know, I don't know, idealized in this crazy post-apocalypse. It's just making me think this was their little sniff at The Last of Us Part 2, where we're going to go into a trans-utopian Seattle in that, and it just didn't feel realistic, and it didn't feel genuine and authentic.
I mean, like I said, it really did to me because of how much of a flawed character Bill was in terms of he's almost like antisocial. He didn't do anything to help anybody outside of himself. He's got everything set up perfectly to take care of everything he could possibly have. His life was set until death, but what does he really have? He's alone. He's like building traps and tech to make sure he just continues. There's no end point. I find a character like that super interesting because what do they do? And I think that's part of the point of the episode is that once he loses Frank, he's like, I don't want to go back to just waiting, just inevitably waiting for something to happen. I find that compelling, and I think that that's more than reasonable for the kind of people that would survive in a post-apocalypse are going to be people like Bill.
Well, that's
see a lot of them.
Completely contrary to Bill in The Last of Us, because he's lost Frank in The Last of Us, and he still continues to live, and he still continues to make sure his traps are working. Well, exactly, and that's what happens when you fuck around. When you fuck around with a story and completely convert it. I found the one on The Last of Us game to be more interesting because you know, Bill had actually some personality about him, and I felt he had all of his personality drained from him in this, and he was literally just Frank's man.
So that's the thing about, like, I just want to make sure we stick to one thing at a time, because we start with whether or not you could believe a character like that would be in the post-apocalypse. I think they could, but then you said, yeah, but it's not the Bill from the game.
Sorry, right. I don't believe that a couple like that could live in a post-apocalypse. No, not one that's like a zombie apocalypse. No.
Okay, why?
Because the world's a dangerous place, and even in a post-apocalypse, where there are bodies of humans will devolve into tribes.
Yeah.
And they will devolve into warlords, and they will devolve into followers, and places they will need resources, and places like that will get turned over like a swarm of ants.
Yeah, so the one thing I could be pushed on is the bandit side of things. I think I more than believe that they're secure for zombies. I don't think runners, stalkers, and clickers are going to get in. I just don't. And he's going to repair.
Do you think there's any relationships or towns like that in war-torn countries right now?
Well, like two guys, maybe.
Somalia.
I don't know. I mean,
it when it's war-torn, when it's crazy, there generally isn't. I mean, sure. I guess like anything's possible, Mauler. But if it's total chaos, even 20 years into the total chaos where we're basically hunters and gatherers outside of our fortified cities, people just will be thinking about food and survival.
People are still having sex.
They're still having sex, but they're not
People still gonna have sex. Yes,
they're gonna procreate. Yeah, but sitting down and having nice relationships. I mean, like that's not the part that got me. It's just that again, no connection to the game whatsoever, and not the biggest fan of the post-apocalyptic zombie thing, which I think is just fucking done to death, to be honest with you.
I don't disagree with you on that.
I just found it boring. I just found it incredibly boring. I was like,
I found it boring because there wasn't any agent. Like I said, there wasn't. I don't personally believe there was anything to be interested or invested in.
Horribly offensive, but I'm not running to watch that episode again. It's like, oh, I think it was a way to cleverly bury your gaze. That's the way I think they go into storytelling now going, oh my God, are we going to get canceled for this? Because, you know, one of them dies, but we're going to really get into the story. Let's make it a romantic send off. And yeah, it's a very clever way to bury your gaze.
But like, wouldn't you say then that they went the bolder choice than keeping them alive? They killed both of their gay characters they just introduced.
Well, they
did,
killed them
but they
through debilitating disease and suicide.
and suicide, and like spending an entire episode, the third episode of a first season of a television show, and then dispatching him. I would say this, again, I don't know the fucking game. I don't care. But this is the kind of episode you put in the middle of season 2, not in the third episode. Because as just a normie who doesn't like zombie shit very much, I was like, I don't even have a watch. I was looking at my wrist.
Well,
all
right.
I'm sure though. Waiter just absolutely loved it. It was the greatest thing ever.
The Last of Us game, right? The one of the things I really loved about it, outside of Joel and Ellie as characters, was kind of the point it seemed to be making by the time I hit the end, being the literal surface level interpretation of the game's name, The Last of Us, literally meaning there's like 1% of humanity left. All right, and then another interpretation, The Last of Us. What does it mean exactly? It's like the last of like the humanity left and the humans that are left, as in, what are we all reduced down to? What decisions we'll make? How horrible a lot of this stuff has become, including Joel, right? A lot of his history keeps getting alluded to because of choices he would make now that he's in a scenario that, a lot more things are harder to do. But then, by the time I hit credits, I was like, The Last of Us, being that he sees like Ellie is worth everything, as a lot of people who love another would. They're like, that's what's worth sort of keeping safe or surviving, is that's the last of what we had. A great society's crumbled down now into a couple of pockets of organizations and individuals trying to survive, and that ultimately when you do questions like Ellie versus the Cure, or this guy versus several other people, like, you start to throw the calculus out and just instead be like, nah, fuck it, I think this one, my child or my sister or my friend, is worth more than like 100 of you guys or whatever. That's like, I think part of the point the game is making, how much humanity matters even in the smallest amounts and how much is actually left.
Yeah,
I
Joel
feel like
gains his humanity throughout the game.
Yeah,
regains, I should say.
Part of that's I love The Last of Us' story for like those reasons, including, I could talk forever about Joel and Ellie's characters. The reason why I like this episode so much is I think that it's entirely in line with that spirit. I think that what we're supposed to learn from the relationship between these two guys is what's going to be happening in terms of the meaning behind the relationship for Joel and Ellie, right? He says in his letter, it was my job to protect Frank. He was someone, I saved his life, when I think the subtext is they saved each other because their lives were both halves. And then it really got to me when he said, like, you're like me, Joel. You're a guy who, if any motherfucker stands in our way, they better, like, they don't realize what's coming for them, sort of thing, which I think is going to set up the cannibal episode more than likely. And that, use my equipment, use my weapons, defend, save Tess. And it's like she's already dead. It's like that hits pretty hard, at least I thought so. And that it's gonna reinvigorate Joel to be like, I lost Sarah, I've lost Tess, I've been charged with Ellie. Nothing is going to stop me from defending her at this point.
Except for a 5-iron.
Well, no. Well, I mean, I know where this show goes. So,
it depends. Whatever happens next, I'll be the praiseworthy.
Okay, can I ask a question? Are you holding out hope that they completely deviate from The Last of Us Part 2?
Well, the part that I find fascinating is like all these sort of criticisms of it deviating from source. We all want it to deviate from source, right? When it gets to Last of Us 2.
Okay, that's not my criticism, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, just making sure, because I get confused sometimes. It's not about deviating from source.
I don't care about the source, except I don't know how people are going to react if that happens.
I saw this episode as a way of Neil Cuckman getting on his knees and apologizing for Frank for Frank and Bill in the game, and giving them a lovey-dovey story instead of the one that they actually had. That's the way that I see it.
Hypothetical.
Okay.
They do a pretty good job. 7 out of 10. Like the first 2 episodes, and then they go into Last of Us Part 2. That's how they end the season.
Yeah, no.
How are you feeling?
Like I told you, man, I'll call it out the second I see it. I don't see it for this one. But I can. There are what I call like markers on this episode that I knew why this one would be controversial. It's obvious, but yeah, I'm not convinced. Basically, I think the writing's pretty straightforward and strong. If anything, I can understand people being bored. That's fine. But like I thought it was quite compelling how the relationship moved over the years and sort of
Ratings are
they
good.
degenerate over
Ratings
time.
are good.
The ratings are good for this show. Really good.
Like
There's
I said,
nothing wrong with
can-
having differences of opinion.
I
There's
concede
nothing
on the bandits because I wouldn't defend the bandits by saying, oh well, they're clearly attacked more than the one time, because the one time we saw them attacked, Bill was a moron, so it makes me think like, how did they even survive any? And by the way, those bandits were retarded. They were like head first just running into the fence when it was clearly electrifying their friends.
Yeah, one guy just literally ran into the fence.
Well, when we were watching it, Frank's like, what are we gonna do about the rest of them? And then Bill's just like, don't worry, the fence will take care of the rest of them.
Traps will finish them off or something.
Yeah, I was sitting there with Rags, and Rags was like, "Oh, they won't." Why would you just? That's weird. So
and then the next shot is literally years later, when from a distance you think it's Bill that's in a wheelchair, but no, it's actually Frank. And Bill, who fell back on the table, eyes open, stopped breathing, was actually alive and well and fine.
Yeah. I guess they wanted to bait us on what was going to happen there. But what I appreciate about the scene was his immediate thing of like, you need to get to Joel because he basically believes like Frank can't take fucking care of himself, which is true. And so he's like, Joel will take care of you. I quite like it. Just over the time it would have shown what this is why, as much as Bill doesn't like anybody except Frank, he recognizes like the traits of these people.
But I didn't even buy his letter with Joel going, I didn't like you, because Joel was the one who gave him all the advice on the fence about the bandits.
Yeah, no, that's true, but that's the thing. That's Frank.
So
right?
that didn't make any sense.
Well,
but it didn't make sense for the character of Frank that they were showing and displaying in the episode.
Frank, like that's how he's saying it. I'm assuming you believe. Since
I know, I'm reading between the lines, but it was just a stupid thing to write.
I might even say that to you, or you could say it to me. You know, like, oh, I fucking hate you, but I love you. Like that sort of thing. To me, it seems completely normal. I'm leaving you all of my equipment and guns. I hate you. You know, it's like, to me, that just seems like a friend thing.
You can go from episode 2 to episode 4, and you haven't missed anything. I think that. I mean, that's just on a personal level. I think that means you've wasted people's time with an episode.
I think that's
because both characters are gone. They're not coming back. So it's not as if what they did in this episode is going to pay off.
Yeah, that was weird.
Later in the season, you've just literally wasted, in my eyes, just wasted an episode.
So things that obviously you need to know about if you were to skip this episode is how they got the car and how there's going to be a payoff at some point where Ellie probably saves Joel with a gun, right? Like the game sort of payoff.
Yeah.
Obviously we know how she got that gun, and then just resources in general. Like, but the thing is, I think optically that makes a lot of sense as an argument. If there's nothing that happens in this episode that really means I need to see it, then what a waste of time and not respecting the audience time. Blah blah blah. Hot take. I think filler episodes are okay, actually. And I was going to go as far as saying, I don't know if you guys have seen House. I know you've seen Supernatural.
Oh, House. Yeah.
But
I've never seen House.
Well, House is fantastic.
House season 1, 2, and 3, for the main plot line, you mainly only need to see like the first and last episode of each season.
Yep.
Everything else.
Ellie did find her tampons, yes.
It's pretty
very
procedural.
And I was going to say Supernatural. I think I used to know this off by heart, but I think you need to see season 1.
This isn't a procedural show, though.
No, I know. I'm getting there, right? So the season 1 of Supernatural, I think you need to see like episode 1, 16, and 22, and you've got the main plot line. It's when the dad turns up in one of the missions, and then at the end.
And who was that dad?
Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
That's
Jeffrey
right.
Dean Morgan, yeah.
So those episodes in between,
First 5 seasons of that show were so
they're all mini stories that develop, I guess, the relationship between the characters that remain. But even with House, that's like a generous sort of overstep with some of them. Most of them you could watch out of order, right? Because they're designed for that, like when people catch them on TV.
But with those other episodes, they're normally developing side characters or main character relationships, even the filler episodes. This isn't. These are 2 side characters that were introduced in episode 3, died in episode 3, will not return again.
So where I'm trying to go with this is if we analyze each of those episodes and concluded there was nothing for the main characters, only side, I still don't know that I would say that's bad in and of itself. I'd need to see them. I don't know. They could be good. the episodes don't stand and fall for me based on whether or not they're filler. It's usually just the writing itself. This is a complete start, middle, end story for two characters in a TV show. It doesn't necessarily pertain as hard to the main characters, but I don't mind at all because their story is supposed to be reflective of what's going to happen to the main characters, on theme and compelling in and of itself. I think
if this was a man and a woman, this would be getting 5% of the stunning and brave that it's getting right now. But because this is two men, it's stunning and brave. Everyone's applauding it. All the mainstream media is applauding it. Everyone wants to literally get behind it. No pun intended. Lying, absolutely pun intended. And if this was a man and a woman with this story, they would have gone, this was a weird episode. This was a waste of time with this episode. Introduced two side characters that get killed off in this weird, I think the attitude would be completely different. It might just be me being jaded.
No,
I've seen this shit over and over again.
You're going to get loads of people celebrating. There might even be someone stupid enough to say, like, the first gay relationship or something like that. Obviously, I don't care about any of that. I'm more so interested in just what it means for them. I would never use on you guys, like, you have to appreciate the fact that I know. People. Like, no, I call it that. If anything, I'd be curious to see that world where it was a guy and a girl, just to see what everyone was saying instead. Because you might be right. Everyone might then be like, this was boring or this was filler, or I didn't care, moving on. But that could be used as something to distract, or it could just be because I try to avoid analysis like that anyway. I find it all boring as hell, right? To be like, the show is good or bad based on a character's sexuality or skin color. That's just that's worthless to me. I want to know the stories. And yeah, like I said, the fundamental is I just found it compelling. There was a prepper who, funnily enough, I know right-wingers who think this is actually a better bit of representation compared to a lot, because they don't mention oppression or pride at any point. They just have a relationship.
Not a right-winger.
I didn't say you were.
I'm saying.
No, the relationship that doesn't, like, that was part of the show, right? That was part of the game. Sorry, that was like canonical in the game. I don't care. I mean, just presenting it like this is a victory for LGBTQ. Have you watched television lately? Have you watched British television lately? It's all gay.
In the game, Gary, Bill was actually a character. He wasn't a sexuality. Yeah. So even though we saw little hints that or heard little hints that he was gay, that wasn't Bill. Bill had actual character. He wasn't defined by his sexuality. I think Bill has now been defined by his sexuality in this episode. Okay.
Well, I like Nick Offerman. I like him as an actor. He's a really good actor. He did a good job. I think it was well acted. I think it was well shot. I think it was well directed. Like the one thing I'll give this show credit for is the editing's really solid. The production design, cinematography, directing is all top notch. It's all like really good.
It's got the HBO polish.
You said he's a sexuality and not a character. You wouldn't concede he has any traits, like specific
I think traits? This is comparing. I mean, again, I'm comparing Bill again to the games, because that's Bill that I know. And the Bill in the games is not the Bill that was in this show. Completely different character, just called Bill.
But if the game never existed, would you say this guy that you've seen in the show, he's just gay? There's nothing else to him.
Well, that's what I thought of the episode. I didn't think there was anything to these characters other than gay. What did the episode? What did it bring to the table?
Yeah, okay. So, like, to me, Bill is a character, like, almost entirely defined by his distrust of other people and government systems and individuals. He seems to have gone completely, like, prepper mode in ahead of all of this, well before any of this happens with the cordyceps, and yet it's paid off. Remember, like, the first thing we heard him say is the, like, fuck you, bootstrapping asshole.
Sure.
And then he immediately has all of his plans for setting up all the resources he needs and gets it all going. He's very antisocial, I would even go as far as saying pretty arrogant / stubborn, and probably believes, with good reason, you shouldn't really trust anybody. That's an archetype I'm more than familiar with, and I thought that Nick Offerman played it really well. And then, of course, someone like Frank.
I didn't think Frank should have. Bill should have killed himself. To me, he should have lived on after Frank died, gone back to that prepper mode, because that's who Bill was. He was a survivalist, and even though he'd found love and lost love, that wasn't everything about him. He was more than just that. He had this wonderful 15 odd years or however it was with Frank. But, when Frank passed, it's time for me to carry on. I got to live on.
You can definitely...
and with him killing himself, I was just like, to me, I mean, again, this is just me, and you're well with obviously everyone is well within the rights to disagree. But to me, when Frank was just like, oh, I'll kill myself, Bill was like, oh, I've killed myself too. I was just like, oh.
Well, that's the thing, right?
Your life is without your partner, that's it. You're nothing. That's not who Frank, that to me is not who Bill was. And so so everything, Frank came in, he became, they had this relationship, and now all that Bill was is gay, and now that his gay lover had died, Bill's got to die too, because that's everything that defined his life. I find that pretty insulting, but
I think
that's me.
All the characterization I was just talking about, that was where he was, and then knowing Frank for, was it over 1.5 decades? Like
about 15 years or so.
Yeah, it would have changed him significantly. He loved life with Frank compared to being alone. That's something that he learned in a world that's entirely different from when civilization was functioning normally. I found the scene where he's told basically, I want you to kill me.
The centerfold. Sexy.
But, without, again, we live in, even out of, that is a fucking beautiful centerfold, by the way.
It is.
Out of an apocalypse, people go through life and they lose loved ones. Yeah. They lose husbands, they lose wives, they lose children, God forbid. And they go on, they live on.
No, yeah, I'm completely with you, and I would like to see a version of the story with that. But there's all kinds of like stories I like to run. Like I said, I really like the game one too. But this one is a man who fell so deeply in love with him that when he killed his partner, he figured this is not a life I'm going back to. Fuck being the loner prepper. And he obviously wanted to die with him.
Die later in the game?
No, Bill's alive in the game.
Yeah, we don't know what happens to Bill. Like,
we don't know what happens.
When they leave Bill, he's alive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah, what I mean is, like, by the time you hit like Last of Us 2, I don't think we hear about Bill again.
Well, they've moved way away though, haven't they?
Yeah. What I was going to say though, it's like, because you're right, you're absolutely right. A lot of people have to suffer, a lot of loved ones being lost, and they continue fighting, sort of thing. But then you do get instances of people who, especially I can imagine in a post-apocalypse environment, if you've been surviving with someone for that long and they're dying of some kind of disease and they want to take their own life, that if you're of that age and you find the reason to live is all the experiences you had with them in the form of eating with them, drinking with them. If you remember when he's having the shower and he just describes it as amazing, they hang on Bill's face for a while because it's been so long since not only he can have the fun of great food, great wine, great showers, great music and stuff, but having someone to share it with, right? That's something he hasn't had in so long. And then to have that for over a decade and a half, and then the guy is coming to terms with he has to die. It seemed to me that Bill had decided, okay, I've lived my full life. I've had so much fucking fun with you. I'm not going back to being a prepper alone. I think this is it for me. And that felt completely genuine to me. I could believe someone doing that in real life. Absolutely. But hey,
maybe someone. I know. I'll agree with you. Maybe someone, not Bill.
Yeah, well, so this is the thing. If you wanted to go to faithfulness, it's not faithful at all. I don't even disagree with you.
Yeah, I mean, we'd have to see how the series plays out to see if we're going to be going back to this episode going, this was pivotal, or if it was just, wow, it looked like this episode was sponsored by ESG.
It's all right. You'll get the episode again in episode 7 when they do the flashback with Ellie and Riley.
Oh, they'll do a lot of repeated themes. Is that what you're saying?
When Cookman wants his 14-year-old girls to fall in love.
Like I said, I'll call spade a spade as it comes. But
well, at this rate, the human race isn't going to procreate anyway.
I thought I personally, Mauler, thought that was a great little chat. Personally, but
I did too. Avoid reading chat for the day, okay?
Yeah, no, I've been like trying to avoid reading chat just to kind of. I don't want to, I just wanted to carry on what we were doing because I thought it was quite good.
I look forward to next week when we talk about episode 4, whatever's going to happen in that one.
Yeah, because they got to meet up with the brothers soon, haven't they?
They do, yeah.
Because we know that.
Because they'll do. I would imagine that sequence might take 2 episodes, but really they haven't got the time, right? Because 4, 5.
Well, okay. Tommy... Is the game? Is the first game going to be 2 seasons or 1?
It looks, from what I know, because I know all the way up to the end of episode 8.
Oh, so you know what happens?
Yeah. But there's still episode 9 to come, which I don't know anything about episode 9. But where they end at episode 8, I would be massively surprised if season 1 didn't bleed over into season 2.
Okay, the game. Yeah, that's probably smart considering they only have 2 games.
Yeah, I mean, and
but they've just come out. Oh, Gary, sorry, Mauler. They've just come out. The guys just come out and said that season 2 is too big to put into one season.
Yeah. So, what's the like? Is Last of Us going to be only like 3 or 4 seasons?
Well, to be honest, dude, if I were involved in this in any way,
so.
shape, or form, and they were like, your task is to adapt 1 and 2, the games, and then it'd be like, however many seasons you need, I'd be like, okay, I'm going to need 10 seasons for everything up to The Last of Us 2, and then I'll need. Maybe we just don't do 2. Like, you know what? We'll just do 1. I'll do the whole life.
But it's been renewed, though. It's been renewed, and that's what they said they want to do.
And that's the thing. When they adapt Last of Us 2, everyone is going to be hoping they are not faithful, right?
Now, Mauler, can we please climb back into our echo chamber?
Yes. Let's do it. Let's talk about news.
It's having their own opinion business is getting a bit too much for me. DC. Actually, let's read a couple of supers, then we're going to get into the DC stuff, because there's some DC supers here. So Hal Slush became a new member at the bard level. Thank you, Hal. Thor's World with a $10 says, "Hail Gary, thoughts on James Gunn's subtle jab at Henry Cavill while trying to reboot DC? Mauler, do you plan on doing an EFAP about Az's new favorite show, MILF Manor?"
I was talking about this on my stream. I didn't know that was a real thing. I saw it and I was like, "Oh, it must be a meme." But I saw you'd review it. I was like, "This is a real. What is this show? What is this?"
I couldn't believe what I watched.
Is it good?
I mean, it's horrendous. It's great. I love it.
Did you get both episodes? I sent you
I got
both.
2 episodes. Yeah, I got 2.
Yeah, okay.
For some reason, it put the first one in a completely different folder.
What is the premise of the
show? I never saw it. So, if I tell you that, well, no, because 15 minutes in, they tell you the premise. Right. It's a bunch of MILFs go to a beautiful Mexican, beautiful manor on the beach, whatever.
All right, I'm with you.
All modern, so it's all modern. And they're like, I think that you've got to be over 40 and between like 40 and 60 or something. And they're going there to because they're MILFs and they're going there to meet young men.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So they're going to bring out a bunch of a bunch of young men, and they're going to let them mingle and see what happens.
Touchy feely. They get the touchy feely.
Oh yeah. Just a little bit of a twist though, Mauler.
A little bit of a twist.
The young men that they bring out are the women's sons.
I'm not following. Why would they do that?
They because they did it.
What's Mauler's like? Why? And I know like you like to go there. Why? Why is a good question. Understanding things logically is normal human nature, but I don't think it's applicable in the modern world anymore.
You gotta check it. You gotta check out my review, folks. Go watch it after the stream.
Is it like a reality show?
Yes.
Okay.
Reality that's
why
clearly fake to fuck, but
Yeah, right. Well, okay, so that's the thing is I just read an article that reality is going to make a big comeback during the writer's strike, and it's like, do you guys remember what happened after the writer's strike to reality television? The plotters were considered writers because it's none of it's reality.
Yes,
it's all planned.
I mean, one of them.
I'm sure they had a cameraman inside the house when the person spontaneously opens the door. There's always a cameraman sitting in there.
Yeah,
duh.
And they get them to. I mean, clearly one of the mums knew what was going to happen. Well, clearly they all knew what was going to happen because one of the MILFs who calls herself, I think it's Disco Mummy.
Okay.
She said, I mean, I flew over to Mexico with my son because he was going to be on another dating show with people. And I was just like, how did you not realize it was the same show? Of course you knew it was the same fucking show.
Entertainment's gotten weird, huh?
It's gotten really
real weird. And there are that MILF has clearly been told to go for it because she is trying to fuck. Oh, Yeah, thank you, chat. There's a woman that comes on, Asian woman, and she says, "My name is So Young. I'm 50." And I went, "Not so young then, are you?" And she says, and then she went, "My name is So Young and I'm so wet." And I'm like, oh, God. Oh.
Do you remember those shows where they would be like, "Here are hot women, here are hot men," and then we put them on an island?
Yeah.
One of the I know, Molly, you got to watch it. I can't tell you the get. Yeah, you got to watch it, man.
What?
Got to watch it.
Like what everyone wants to
It's
do.
going to
like
be an EFAT wet dream, dude. What else we got? Thor. Oh yeah. So Gary, thoughts on James Gunn's subtle stab at Henry Cavill?
Oh,
was there?
He said that he wanted people who are going to be easy to work with.
yeah. James Gunn is he's a talented director. People like him. He's also very gifted at talking out of both sides of his mouth. So he clearly didn't want just Henry Cavill. It's pretty fucking obvious. Now people are saying it's going to be a massive reboot, but if you watch that video, it sounds like Ezra Miller is really going to stick around. It does. We'll see.
Jason Momoa. Samosa.
And we'll get to the announcements. I'll tell you what, there's a couple things that sound fine. And there's about 4 things that sound fucking awful. Like bloody, like poor DC fans. And I'm gonna get ratio to my neck. I'm fucking waiting for it. Just like the Batman trailer reaction. I am ready. I'm ready. And then I'll just wait for 2 years like I did with the Batman, and we'll just go. By the way, the Batman's sticking around. They said it's getting one more movie. Yeah, it's getting one more movie, but it's not good. If you read between the lines in that article, it ain't getting another one after that.
No, you don't think?
And they're they said that anything that is outside of the DC EU, like the Batman, like Joker, they're going to be classed as Elseworlds,
and they have to be like extraordinary.
They're gonna have to perform well to earn this.
Yes, they have to be.
Because I was gonna say they got the Penguin TV show coming, right? So they're trying to expand for the Batman universe.
Oh, dude, their TV shows sound. I mean, I'll straight up say fucking lame.
That just smells like desperation to me when you're like
James Gunn doing Swamp Thing. Fucking perfect.
We'll get to it, Gary.
That is perfect.
Spoilers, Gary. Go.
Okay. Well, he's not directing it, but like him producing it. I think that's great.
Mikey Gusler with the 1, 2, 3 supers that I can see for 10, 20, and 2. So $32 says, just saw the DC slate and I couldn't care anymore. I don't care if these films are universally praised by both critics and audiences. I won't see them. I still haven't seen Black Adam and the Batman. Hashtag sell Snyderverse to Netflix. Mikey Gusler then says, hashtag fire James Gunn. And then also says, there is one piece of media that I think satirizes the superhero genre. That is Mystery Men. Mr. Furious, The Shoveler, Blue Raja, Bowler, Spleen, Casanova, Frankenstein, etc. are all great. I love Mystery Men. It's a great film.
Great movie. Based on a comic book where the main character is not even in the movie. Flaming Carrot.
Wow.
Flaming Carrot, that's what it's based on.
Uneven Streets with a $2 says, did you guys see the James Gunn DC announcement video? We're just about to go through it.
We are just about to go through
any
it.
second now.
Jens Anderson of the Turai, 21 months as a bard. Thank you. Queen Pirate, 20 months as a bard. Uber Geek with a £5 says, did you ever think you would review something where you would say, quote, dump Tinder sauce into my mum? No, but today I did.
Beautiful.
Today I did. There's even a text in the show, Mauler, because they all have phones where the production team texts them and they can also text each other. The production team texts them and says, I mean, everywhere there's alcohol everywhere. They want these people plastered. They say, hey, loosen up, relax, and maybe you'll even fuck your mum, basically. Buford T. Justice with a $50 says, I was done with DC after Gunn got rid of Cavill. Watching his DCU plan video just makes me audibly laugh. DCU is dead on arrival, and it will be forever known as Dead Company. It is getting easier and easier not giving Hollywood my money. I mean, without, I there's not a lot about this that I'm excited about at all.
Yeah, dude. When we get there, I was expecting more from James Gunn. I will tell you that right now.
Show the thing. I can't say anything.
In a minute. Yeah, we'll do it. Don't worry. We're going to go through the whole thing, pause it, go through.
I know the shills will be zippity doo. It's the greatest thing ever. Scooby Doo. Yay.
An Amanda Waller movie. Wow.
So stunning. No, wait. Themyscira,
an Amanda Waller
all
movie?
female Game of Thrones. Can't wait for that.
Wait, what?
Oh, no. I'm not kidding. That was not a joke.
I can't tell what's real.
Paradise Lost, which is on Themyscira, which is a bunch of women, is going to be their Game of Thrones show.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Andrew Clark with the $5 says, thoughts on the French being a slur.
What?
Good. Should be more.
The French, yeah, it's not a slur enough.
Apparently, it's the offensive part is the
fucking Canadians, the fucking Americans.
And French is just used an example. Google it. No, I saw it, Andrew. And do you know who said that the French is a slur? The Associated Press.
I was going to say Sargon.
The Associated Press.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding, Ben.
So I think actually Sargon was just like, yes.
Yes, the French. The French.
This was a brilliant
example.
7-4 has been a bard for 2 months, and Elijah Voller with a $5 says, I'm going to be 21 soon. Any advice for dudes in their 20s? Besides not getting married right away, cough, Gary, cough. Thanks. Love you.
What?
Just live your life. Just live your life, man.
What? Who's cough? What? Say that again?
He said, cough, Gary, cough. He's dissing you for getting married young.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
People marry young and they live together forever, mate. It's about the person, not the.
Well, I did marry young, and I divorced that one, and I got married when I was older, when I should have. And my unsolicited advice to all young men: here's your Giga Chad advice from your old.
Your Andrew, what's he called? Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
Your Andrew Tate, no chin
though,
advice.
Because I used to say wait till you're 30, but I think that's a little too late. 27, 28 till you get married.
28.
27.
Oh, that was my plan.
Yeah.
28.3.
Don't get married at 21, okay? Just don't.
I was engaged at 23.
But for procreation's sake, you got to be a little younger,
Yeah.
Younger.
I don't think we're going to have any.
We need you to have babies.
Little HVBs running around nowadays.
Nuclear families are wonderful and what keep us prosperous and keep you happy. So
Quarter Black.
Families.
Love you, dude. By the way, got married at 18. Got 4 kids. 10 years, 12 years of marriage now. Is it?
Yep.
12 years?
Yep. I've been married 19 years.
What a dude.
Going on 20.
Nice.
This year is our 20th anniversary.
I'm flying to MILF Island right now.
Yeah, I think you should go.
I'm on the plane. I've just got a green screen behind me.
Well, dude, you're not any of their kids, so fuck it. Hey.
Yeah, but I'm sort of the age of the MILFs. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's the thing. Well, they're perfect for it. Are any of them hot?
There's one that I thought was pretty hot.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
And the kids are grown up, dude, so you don't have to worry about them. Are they? Or maybe they're not. Okay.
They're grown up. But they're grown up and they're out of the house, But none of them are gonna call me dad, I'm here to dump Tinder sauce into your mom.
That's what I'm here for. Way longer than I thought it would.
I thought it's great.
It's great. It's great. I mean,
it's great. It's great being able to have a different opinion without slagging match.
Yeah.
It can happen, people.
I feel like the internet wants the slagging match.
I know. Yeah. Kino Reviews with the $5 says, I'm pissed off beyond belief with today's announcement from James Gunn. Snyderverse fans were robbed.
I'll tell you, For my first reaction was that was disappointing, and I was not expecting it to be disappointing. I thought, okay, he got rid of Henry Cavill, but like James Gunn, he's done some good stuff. He's got a hell of a plan, and it sounds kind of basic, bitch. There's a couple things I do like though.
I legitimately thought I'm probably going to like the majority of what I've heard today, and I was quite surprised that I actually didn't
exactly
like the
what I thought.
of what I heard.
I thought there was going to be like two things that I'm probably
I'd be like, I could,
like, oh yeah, Batman, oh Superman.
There's going to be a core.
Even
There's going to be a
Supergirl
core
movie. I would have been excited for. Oh, freaking Green Lanterns. You know, like there would have been stuff. And the Lanterns, quite frankly, is the only thing I'm kind of.
That's the only thing I'm interested in.
Yeah, that sounds.
That's the only thing that I'm like, ooh, if they nail this, this could be good.
It could be so good if they do it right.
Gee, I wish I could talk about it. I already know.
We will. I gotta give the people the credit, Mauler. Royal Raptor with a $5 says, you guys hear about the map weapons skin they put in Call of Duty? They even gave it a Korean name that means colorful children's clothing.
What?
I need to look into that. A sour cream citizen with a $5 says, I just got my Frank Frazetta's Death Dealer Volume 1. It's a mix of Conan and Elric, and it's epic.
Death Dealer, yeah, that's Sarah Frazetta. I think it's Frazetta Comics. Yeah, that's it. Even Danzig did a Death Dealer book way back in the day. Good stuff.
Gary, did you see that tweet that said something like Wakanda was made by black people while white people made like Chicago? So, you know, there you go. And then someone was just like, Wakanda was made by two Jewish guys.
And it's tend. And Chicago currently, well, demographically, well, all the murders, well, all the shootings are committed by Wakandans.
About that tweet, Mauler, I legitimately am not 100% convinced she doesn't think Wakanda is a real place.
I thought that was a troll.
I think there are some people who think Wakanda's real.
Well, yes, there is. Somebody already did a video on that back when Black Panther came out. That there was God, who was it? Chat, come on, somebody did a video, asking if the people thought Wakanda was real, and they were.
Wasn't that one of the street guys? Goes around the street.
If anybody has a problem with what I just said about Chicago, look at the statistics, and then we can talk. I don't make the rules. I don't make the numbers, man. I don't.
Zero with a £5
gun laws there, by the way. There's really strict gun laws in Chicago that don't seem to be working very well.
Yeah, they say, can you please empty your bullets into the nearest black person?
Did you see? Oh, real quick. Did you see the article? To give my tweet context, some fucking Lord of the Rings fan site said we got big news. Embracer Group, which owns Middle Earth Enterprises, has gone to Warner Brothers to ask them for the film rights back. I'm like, what?
I'm sure they'll just hand them over.
I'm sure. Hey, Zaz, baby, can we pretty please have the Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, come on.
And
come
film
on,
rights back.
Come on,
give them to us, because
come on,
because you should.
While you're at it, can we have Batman as well?
Yeah. Why don't you ask me for my wife while you're at it? That's Zaslav. It's like that'll never fucking happen.
Oh, why? Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he might give up his. No, Zaslav will give up his wife before he gives up the Lord of the Rings film rights. Okay.
Yes. Zero with a £5 says, so good to have you guys railing against bad media. On that note, how's the show about railing desperate moms? You've seen the review. The review for episode 1 is up. Check it out. The review for episode 2 is going to be out tomorrow. So you're going to get, just like the mums, a double dose.
Well, and that's thanks to me. I just hope you gave me full credit, but it was actually Perry. Thanks, Perry.
What? Thanks for your cheers, Perry. Go Fund Yourself 69 has been a sorcerer for 3 months and says, never knew episode 3 of The Last of Us was a sequel to Bros in the post-apocalyptic gay utopia.
Dude, I mean, come on, Mauler. Don't you think they laid it on a little thick? Just a little. I mean, come on. I'm sitting there going.
Well, just let me know, what would the equivalent be if it were a guy and a girl? Would you be saying the same thing?
As far as the detour, yeah.
Like when you say laying,
it was a waste of time.
No, wait. When you say laying
it on a little thick, probably not. But they wouldn't. See, that's the thing. They wouldn't. That's the whole point of this. And laying it on thick is like, I understand why they do it. They each time a television maker goes out there and does something for the first time, they think they're the ones doing it for the first time. And there's a point of where you got to start thinking of, has the audience seen this a lot? And I have. And the detour doesn't even have to be about the gay story, which didn't bother me. I like Nick Offerman. I think he's a good actor, and I don't mind watching him for an hour. That's fine. And I think it's really fun to see a guy who's basically known as a comedian stretch his legs out and getting into drama. And I think he's probably better suited for it, honestly. But yeah, it felt super thickly laid on, and I was confirmed. It was confirmed with the media the next day. That's exactly what they wanted. They just, we're going to go hard into this. We're going to go deep and hard. This.
that episode is an award show episode. That's what they're going for.
Yeah. It's like going full retard. I mean, that's which I would say has been laid on thick a lot in the past too. And I would say the same thing about that, to the point where they even make fun of it later in a movie, quite famously.
Is it going to be thicker than one of the young guys when he Tinder sources over one of the MILF's face, neck, and chest?
And they're just a prepper. They're prepping the audience for what's to come. Believe me. What I know of the source material, which is very little, but it's whatever. I just don't know what it does to the overall story. Now, if this comes back later and something they do together like has an impact later in the show, then I'll be proven wrong. But I think this shit doesn't really get brought up again, ever.
I don't see why it would.
Yeah. And then what was the fucking point? On the third episode, I would feel completely different about it if it was like a bottle episode later in a second season or something like
that. Sam Smith has been a bard for 7 months. Thank you. That's a lot of nuts has been a bard for 6 months. Thank you. And Senor Nessuno has been a bard for 14 months. Thank you. And Grimnack28 has been a bard for 6 months. Thank you.
Oh my God.
Jens Anderson of the Terai with a 50 Swedish says, I want to submit my application to have another opinion. I usually stick to the echo chamber, but I like Ellie and Joel, not the snooze fest of episode 3, though. Couple more, and then we'll get into the DC stuff. Deck 970 has been a bard for 11 months, and Trevor Sumner has been a Witcher for 16 months. It says, hey, lads, Gary Mauler. Love the real BBC. Mauler!
Yes.
Any chance you're going to do Jurassic World Dominion Unbridled Rage down the line? Recently watched your Fallen Kingdom one. It's still great.
There's a good chance that could happen, yeah, because I haven't seen Dominion, but I think the second I see it, I will be incensed to create something. It's a very good chance. Jurassic Park is a film that sits in the corner of my mind very calmly, having a fun little time. He's on a little chair. Every time I watch a movie in the franchise that's further on and it fucking spits all over that amazing film, that little child turns into a little monster and he runs around really angry in my head. And I'm like, yeah, I'd like to make a video now. That was pretty much the motivation behind the Fallen Kingdom video. What a fucking disaster the Jurassic franchise has become. And it's funny because I'm one of the people who very controversially says, like, there's one good Jurassic movie. That's it. It was one great film. And they keep pumping it over and over again, and we've gotten to the point where the advertising for it now is like, there's loads of dinosaurs and there's the characters you recognize. That's it. And then I find out that the plot for the new one is fire locusts.
I saw is it just Jurassic World, the first one?
Yeah.
Of the reboot. I saw that once. I never have to see it. I was just like, I don't need to see any of this fucking shit.
It was shit.
There's only good one Jurassic Park movie, and that's Jurassic Park.
And I fucking love that movie.
It's great. It's absolutely phenomenal.
It had a point to make. It made it so well. Like humans meddling in shit they don't understand for profit. It's fun. It's a fun idea. Well, and in Hammond's case, like it's more than just profit, but at the same time, like a hubris. I don't know. I really like it, and I think the rest of the films just fail.
Bashiwashi, by the way, just gifted another 10 subs. I saw that, Bashiwashi. Thank you. He's a naughty sausage. He's my Arabian princess.
You know what
but he's
was
a prince.
A good detour done well that had impact later in the story again, which this
Gary's back again.
I'm back to it again. Is the Umbrella Academy with Klaus. You ever see season 1 of the Umbrella Academy? Yeah. When he grabs the time box and accidentally goes back to the Vietnam War.
The Vietnam War, yeah.
And fights in the Vietnam War, falls in love with like a sergeant. And then when he comes, like, it was just a random thing, like, oh, I got this thing. He's gone. That he's gone for a year. He comes back and he's changed completely as a character. Like Klaus was like this drugged up because he can see, he can see the dead. And he's completely fucked because of it, right? And he comes back like a stronger, he's able to use his power better. He's a more serious, he's broken when he comes back. He's completely broken. And he saw, basically what sacrifice was. And he got into the military and he fought. And they're like, where'd this guy come from? Give him a gun. It was it was really cool, really well done. And it had impact on the entire season until Elliot came around in season 2. And
oh, Jesus Christ.
Fucking season 2 was terrible and 3 was terrible too. But
didn't see 3. 2 was absolute garbage.
First one was good. Number 5 is the shit.
JWT 6577 with the $5 says, I can't wait for, I swear it's not a Superman origin movie. The store brand The Boys. Altraz S299 with the $5 says, good morning, you lovely gentlemen. As Gary, thoughts on the Scorched comic? Never read it. Also, song recommendations, No Son of Odin by Hammerfall. Okay. You ever read The Scorched, Gary?
I have to look at it.
Unhinged with a $5 says, hi, Az, here's some money. Thanks. Benjamin Flensborg with a 50 Danish says, I love watching Mooley slowly turn into a Borg
I've not read
on
the
Dead Space.
Comic.
He will soon be one of us. Lol.
Is it because
hi, guys.
Of the armor?
Yeah. And for God's sake, Black Ice is not the end.
Well, I know, but they shut that, like, no school today because there might be some black ice on the road. And I've got a 4x4 with all weather tires.
That's pretty racist, dude. I think ice of all colors is bad.
I agree. Okay. That was so racist. I swear to God.
EMC Dunner with a $5 says, Mauler, please, for love of God, explain why the Last of Us episode is so good to Shad and Az. Bill and Frank are an allegory for Joel and Ellie's journey. No, they're not.
Like, it's almost
because
like
they immediately just fucking played the piano and then bonked. It's not at all.
I am fine with Shad and Az having their respective feelings about it. I already went over like how I do agree with that sentiment that it's allegorical, that what Bill did for Frank is what Joel will do for Ellie, and that he was almost empowered by that message in the note, highlighting that he failed with Tess, he failed with Sarah. Which, it's harsh to call it a failure, but that's gonna be how.
And then Ellie will get high fucking her girlfriend while Joel has his brain smashed in by.
What I'm saying is that's how Joel will feel. He's going to be like, I should have prevented the death of my daughter. I should have prevented the death of Tess, sort of thing. And so it's going to invigorate him hardcore with Ellie. I just hope, because I'm with you on actually I'm not quite feeling them too. I want more. I want it to be better. I was talking to Drinker about it, and he was saying like there's still components missing from the game that makes Ellie fully well-rounded, and they haven't included for all of it. She doesn't come across very vulnerable ever. No. This version of it, which is frustrating, it's not going to help bind us. So they've got time left. I'm hoping.
Do you want a spoiler?
Well, again, like maybe that would have been time better spent on the 3rd episode, like getting to know Joel and Ellie more in the 3rd episode.
I suppose
ratings are going up. So what do I know?
Once I get
know what allegory, a sexy fool, whatever he's called, sexy centurion. I know what an allegory is, dipshit. Just because you don't fucking like the fact that I don't think it's an allegory for the relationship between Joel and Ellie doesn't necessarily mean that I'm wrong. Learn to get a fucking different opinion or learn to understand different opinions. Fucking idiot. Fucking idiot. They don't know what fucking allegory is. Oh, fuck off.
Dude, have you seen what they've been saying about me?
I know,
This
it's
is
just
the
like
stream. Everyone
fucking-
finds out I'm gay, apparently.
Yeah. I did see Mauler gay confirmed, but okay.
Truth comes
Here we
out.
got Liam Khan with a 5 Canadian says, Gary, did you read Angel after the Fall comic? If yes, would you recommend reading it?
Yeah, I liked it. Art not so great, story pretty good. But it's like the only age you'll see. I know how you feel, Mauler. I know how you feel. I already know how you feel.
What, gay?
I liked it though.
I don't know.
Well, because
That
I
was
mean, it's
really
us three, right? So there's no, I don't need to worry about spoilers. I mean, stop listening if you don't want to know what happens right at the end of the Buffyverse. But Angel's ending is my favorite ending to a story ever.
It is.
And I
The way I see it though,
any
is
more
comic
of that
books
story.
are not. I've never seen comic books as absolute canon. It's I'm gonna read this, and then if they film another show, that's gonna trump everything I just read. I usually understand that when it comes to comic adaptations of a TV show.
I think Drinker's in chat. Drinker, howdy doody.
What's up, baby? But
Hello.
dude, Mauler,
Were you about to say you're
I
not
totally
gay?
agree
Don't
with
worry.
you that I totally agree with you that like the end of Angel is best to the left to the imagination after that. Like there's nothing will beat your imagination after that, because that is the best ending of a show outside of Newhart, which has the number one best ending of a show.
Drinker, do you want to discuss DC? The
Drinker's
DC
happy
slate
to
with
jump
us?
in.
We're
He
about
said
to go into the DC slate.
He's happy to jump in if you guys want.
Okay,
Come on,
yeah.
let's do it.
Come on,
Okay,
man.
am I right, chat? Newhart, best ending of a TV show of all time. Do you even know how it ended? Because I'm dying to tell you.
Wait, which
Newhart.
show? Sorry.
Bob Newhart. So there's two Newhart shows. There's the Bob Newhart show, and there's the Newhart show, where he was a hotel guy in Vermont. I watched them both. Bob Newhart was one of the funniest motherfuckers, dry humor. So the end of the second series.
Is he passed away now?
No, he's still alive.
Oh, thank God. Oh, God. You said was, man. He scared the shit out of me.
So, okay, good. Let me continue. I'm obviously bad
Stop
with
saying
my English.
Fucking Bob Newhart's dead.
Bob Newhart is very much alive, and he's awesome. We fucking love him. But he wakes up at the end of the second series. He wakes up with his wife from the first series, and they dreamt the whole second series. The whole second series was a dream. It's fucking great. It was so good.
Like Dallas.
Like Dallas,
With
except
Bobby Ewing.
funny and good.
Yeah.
Dude, it's so good.
I'll just do a couple more supers while we wait for Drinker. Bass player 2011 Iffy with a $20 says the original Dead Space was successful in part because it came out, both Resident Evil and Silent Hill were all but dead, and Amnesia was still 2 years away. So Dead Space was the right game at the right time. I just remember it coming out and just being a great fucking game, man.
I was about to say, as much as I'm happy to agree with that, I just think Dead Space is a fucking banger. It just beyond the atmosphere, beyond the genre, the mechanics are solid as hell. I love playing it for the min-max and the balancing of the enemies, the weapons and stuff. It's all great fun.
And last one before we get into this, Savage. Well, I mean, I'll do more later, but Savage Talk with a $20 says, Gary, pineapple pizza thing aside, we pretty much have the same taste on everything. I quit comics when they did the Forget Spider-Man thing after Civil War. What kept you guys around for so long after that? It was a piece of crap. Well, I was buying DC, not Marvel, so that's what kept me going. And Gary doesn't care. Drinker, how you doing, dude?
Hello, gentlemen. How are we doing this
I
evening?
Was looking something up. Okay, what do I not care about? Hi, Drinker. I care about you.
Hey, guys. I care about you too, Gary.
Aw.
Very much.
Oh, I need to say Gary.
Let's go
How was
prep
that
together
going?
in a town. Dig.
I would happily see out the apocalypse with you, drinking
Yeah.
fine wine and having a nice steak dinner.
Singing musicals, and
shagging.
taking Vicodin.
Taking Viagra more like.
Well, that's how most nights out with me ends, so it's all right.
Hey!
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, like, because I know the conversation's probably moved on from Last of Us, but yeah.
Hey, if you want to say something, feel free.
Yeah, you can get roasted now.
I mean, yeah. Sorry, I feel like you've taken all the heat on this one.
You know, Drinker's gay.
I haven't made all of the friends today, but that's fine.
I mean, personally, I enjoyed that episode. I think it's probably the one that I've had the most emotional investment in the three of them so far. I liked the way the relationship was built up. I thought it was very sensitively written. I think it worked well. I think the acting was great, and overall, I was pretty happy with it. It was weird because like the bits that were bookended with Joel and Ellie, I was just like, nah, whatever, just move along. I don't care.
That's not a good sign.
I know. Well, that's. I guess I made a review of this today, and it kind of points to that as a bit of a problem. Like, if I'm more invested in two random characters who are like I'm never going to see again than I am in the protagonists of the show, it's a little bit worrying. It kind of tells me that something might be a bit wrong.
Mr. Gunn.
Yes.
Wow, you
Pew,
didn't even say anything
you
back
make a
to
good
him.
point.
Racism.
No, I mean, I'm just like I've said my piece today.
I mean,
have I not?
yeah, like I don't want to rake it up again if like you guys have all gone over this already. I'm not gonna.
You know, and I think this was a nothing episode. If there's going to be no, it's not going to pay anything off going forward at all.
Well, I suppose not. No, I mean,
It's the third episode, and your show desperately needs a relationship to start developing between your main characters. This was a very weird thing to do.
I agree that
knowing
it was
what happens later. You don't want to waste time. You know what I'm saying?
I think it was put in a bad place in this is the kind of episode that you would put in like episode 5 or 6 or 7, maybe not episode 3 when you're still kind of trying to establish everything and get things moving. So that wasn't ideal.
Welsh. 25% Welsh.
Who's 25% Welsh?
Me.
Gary's like, ew.
What?
Well, just out of curiosity then, because you said you found it meaningful. Why?
So
you start now, Mauler.
But for me, I think I think for me it touches on some interesting questions about like, okay, well, if you've removed the pure physical survival aspects from the equation, because this is a guy who's prepped for this, he's ready, and so the infected aren't really so much of a threat. The bigger struggle for him now is finding some kind of reason to actually live, and I guess that's the thing that the episode tries to answer. You can be as prepared as you want, you can be as protected as you want. But if you've got nothing to live for, then what's the point? And I guess that's what he kind of discovers in the course of the episodes, to the point where, when Frank's made his decision to end his life, he decides that he's going to do it with him because really, like, that was the thing that gave his life the meaning that it needed to continue. That's what gave him happiness and fulfillment for 20 years. And I think it touched upon some interesting ideas there, I suppose, and it did it in quite an emotionally satisfying way for me.
All right, yeah. I mean, I don't want to belabor it. I was just curious what he thought. He just got on.
That's all. And it helps. Obviously, you've got a couple of really good actors, particularly Kevin Offernan, who I just love seeing in everything. He's always going to be Ron Swanson for me. Nick, sorry, Nick, not Kevin. Don't know where I said Kevin. Nick Offernan.
I was like,
Freudian slip there.
Yeah.
Okay. Got Kevin on his brain.
That's like someone saying, "Oh, I fucking love that Star Wars. It's my favorite film."
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your favorite Star Wars?
I'm always shit with actors' names.
God, they did drop a bombshell to Leslie Headland. What's your favorite Star Wars movie? Oh, I need to know them? Shit.
I like all the Star Wars.
All the Star Wars.
Okay, let's get to this DC thing, dude.
Okay, let's go.
All right, what's this?
I'm so excited.
Hey, everybody. I'm James Gunn.
Hi, James.
I'm the co-CEO of DC Studios. So as many of you know...
If you want to stop it at any point, gentlemen, just say stop.
I'm always the head of DC.
DC has been disconnected in film and television for a long time. And it's one of, our jobs, mine and Peter's, is to come in and make sure the DCU is connected in film, television, gaming, and animation. That the characters are consistent, played by the same actors, and it works within one story. And if something
could you pause it, please? I feel like the problem with DC hasn't been like a lack of connectivity amongst film and TV. It's that they haven't produced a single particularly good film in the whole run of the DCEU.
Yep.
Like that's really where you should start, James.
I could not agree. They should have really hunkered down for a good movie and then worried about it, because that's how they did the MCU. They didn't do the MCU. They didn't plan out and map out the MCU. They let's throw Nick Fury in at the end and see what happens.
This feels like, yeah, man, this feels like they're going to repeat the same mistakes as last time. Instead of like starting from scratch and doing a couple of movies, really focus on the quality of those films and really set them up well. It's like, now we're going to try and launch an entire interconnected universe simultaneously.
That's what killed it the first time.
I know, it's like playing catch up is killing you. It's killed you for 10 years. Stop it.
This is what he's just about to go into.
After this, don't forget to pull up the article because there is more in the article where he addresses, like he says, WB was dicking around Henry Cavill. He does say that.
Oh,
yeah.
There's 4 movies that which is The Flash, which is Aquaman, which is a couple of others before Blue Beetle and something else before they even start their slate. You'll see, you'll hear.
Okay. Like, I've been holding back on the whole Superman thing and the dynamic with Supergirl. It's going to be really fucking obvious, by the way. And it's not good.
Based off what he said about Supergirl?
Spoilers, it ain't good.
I really feel sorry. I really feel sorry for the marketing teams that have to try and promote Aquaman 2 and The Flash and Blue Beetle.
Dude, Shazam!
They must be the most downtrodden people on the planet. It's like we're trying to market films that are clearly the end of a franchise.
Have we talked about how, like, because I think Angry Joe got, like, both roasted and praised for a tweet where he said, like, who cares about Shazam now that the universe is, like, getting reset or whatever. And some people were like, well, because a film should hopefully be good anyway, not just, like, based on where it's going next. What do you guys think about that?
I think it looks terrible.
I think Angry Joe is 1,000% right. It's a sequel from another movie that is set in a larger world. It's not our fault that they set that fucking shit up. It's already set up, and now they're going. Please enjoy it as a standalone. No.
Well, so that's actually what I was going to say. I was going to try and defend on the fact that Marvel and DC have like trained everybody this way. That every film is now just a component piece to a big film. They're not. Yeah. They don't make us. They don't have us go like, oh, this is going to be a really great, awesome movie. You can enjoy it on its own. You don't need to worry about what happens next.
You know what?
If you are interested,
I constantly hear from fucking Hollywood how fucking hard everybody works. Everybody works so fucking hard. Nobody said you didn't. But you know, and we hear that all the time. You know what I never hear from these motherfuckers is you customers. For one, you're called consumers. Fuck that.
Bet we
customers are. And paying customers work hard for your money and are looking for entertainment and not some fucking vanity project from some narcissistic egomaniac who watches MSNBC and believes it all fucking day.
The thing is as well, like, it seems like everyone potentially is working hard apart from the writers of these things.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the scripts are garbage. Bomb on writers yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, shit.
He said a lot of people want to get represented and they want their voice heard. And I read their scripts and they're rubbish.
It's gone to like super clown world with how writing is not cared about at all. Like, I think they figured it out at some point, quote unquote, figured it out that writing's not important. Like they maybe it could go back to Iron Man 1 even, right? Like that it was improvised and rushed, and then they were like, we don't need to put much money or time into this whole writing thing. And like,
well, I think what they've done.
Where some movies are in production before the previous movies are even fucking done in terms of scripts and stuff, and it's absolute fucking mess.
Well, I suspect what they've done is just invested in an AI to write the scripts for them because that's how they feel these days.
Well, it'd be better.
I would not. It
would be better.
Honestly, I would believe that.
I could believe. Yeah, I could believe that the AI spits out like a basic spec script, and then they'll get theoretical humans to add a few touches to it and polish it up slightly, and then bang, you've got your next Marvel movie.
If you told me that's how they were made, I could believe you. Unfortunately, there is now a believability factor. Did you see Gundam's video the other day about the comic industry?
Oh, good.
Probably, yeah.
When he was going through it's a great video. When he was going through the panel, the DC panel, the gay they talk about the gay DC panel. All they were doing was basically going, let's turn, huh?
The one we found on Friday.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the one that we There's cross-pollination.
I'm fine with that. Use it all day long. Dude, use audio clips for the next 5 years from that. You can. And Gundam using the inclusivity and diversity makes money.
I love that one. Yeah. It's because it's phrased as a question. It's like, do they? I'm not even sure.
Her link just always goes up, but this is like, it's like really popular. It's like, makes money. but like they were just there, like, oh, all I want to see, I want my this, I want my trans Poison Ivy, I've got my gay Tim Drake, I've got my gay this, I've got my gay Superman. It's just like just a bunch of raving fucking narcissists that just want to see themselves represented, and they don't in any capacity give a shit about actually the audience that, or the character that has been around for decades upon decades, and then they just kept referring to toxic masculinity. We got a problem with toxic masculinity. I just like,
I say fucked. I'm eternally grateful to Velma, and I'm not going to derail the conversation, but it's like that show has like hit peak wokeness, and it's raised so much awareness of how stupid all this stuff is.
No, it's done us a favor. I totally agree.
If it hits,
nobody
makes
likes
the pendulum swing, then
yeah. But yeah, to answer your question, Mauler. Oh, sorry. Yeah, like obviously you hope for individually good movies, but like the best ones that DC have put out have been the standalone ones, like Joker, like The Batman, like those have been the ones that have done best, and they're just like in their own pocket universes.
And Joker wasn't even a Joker script.
Yeah,
no. Todd Phillips said that he sneaked a real film into a comic book movie because that's the only way you can get them made these days, or something like that. Anyway,
but it worked. It fit. The thing is, it actually legitimately fit and worked.
Well, because the script was worked on for a long time, from what I gather, and they worked with the actor, right? And they bounced around ideas and stuff. I just can't believe we're at that point. Why does everyone hate scripting in Hollywood? What the fuck happened?
Well, because it's more corporate and producer driven, and they're not creatives. They are pie chart, bottom line. Let's make these things widgets and shove them out. And art, the process takes too long. You might have to delay some release dates, and that's what they need to start doing. Like straight up, you want shit to get better. Stop being a bunch of woke a-holes and alienating half your audience, and delay some release dates. Give people time to work on shit.
Yeah, I don't think Aquaman 2 is going to get any better.
Okay, there's certain things you can polish a turd only so much. It just is a very shiny turd. You're right. I'm saying like could maybe a couple of Marvel projects been better if they were given more time? I'm thinking yes. That's just
well, because like the thing with Aquaman, I don't even. This is just they're getting it out to try and make they've decided it's worth putting out versus a tax write-off, right? It's like that's the same for Shazam and the Flash, because they don't have any other intentions on these. And in fact, if there's anything interesting to announce about the future of those IPs and actors and stuff, they're going to save it until after the film gets its theater run, right?
Yep,
that's how it'll work.
Yeah,
this all feels very just
we're gonna get
fucking joking here, sort of thing.
Yeah, we're gonna get into some supreme Hollywood bullshit coming up later. Like, oh, I love these guys. Ezra Miller, fantastic. Aquaman's going to be a great movie. Shazam, awesome. And then when they're all gone, it's like, I'm going in a different direction.
Do you know that the two people have been informed? Henry Cavill, who didn't have anything in the works, and Gal Gadot, whose movie wasn't in the works. Well, I mean, it was going to, but it wasn't being worked on. So they were two easy people to go.
And they've already answered Ben Affleck. They've already answered that question. Like, we want him to direct a movie. There's your answer. That's your freaking answer.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Reeves Batman or Todd Phillips Joker or Teen Titans Go, that it is clearly labeled as DC Elseworlds outside of the mainstream DCU continuity. Now, Peter and I have gotten pretty lucky in terms of the 4 projects that are coming out over the.
But does that mean that we are going to have different Batmans at the same time?
Yes.
Oh, good God.
And let's just let him go. I've got so much to say. I'll be making a video on this. I was gonna like hang out with my wife. This is the nature of the job. I'm gonna bitch a little bit. I was gonna hang out with my wife tonight. We were gonna watch Mayor of Kingstown with Jeremy Renner. We're gonna.
Oh yeah.
Went out of town for a little while, and I'm like, and then I gotta look at her in the face and go, "Babe, I gotta work." She's like, "What?" There's a big article on DC movies. And when you say that to somebody out loud, like, I gotta work because of an article on DC movies, it sounds ridiculous. It just sounds utterly, utterly ridiculous. But she's understanding. She's like, I understand.
Let's go.
next year. First, we have Shazam: Fury of the Gods. Shazam,
which we can't all wait to not watch.
Pfizer is the devil. Pfizer. So hail, Zachary Levi. It's Tim Pool. It's Levi. It's not Levy.
Did he see Levy?
He said Levy.
He must have got a call about that, right?
Did you guys like how I put Matt Walsh's? I meant to do it over and over
Kevin
again.
Feige.
Feige.
I watched your video, Gary.
Thank you, buddy.
I watched it too, and from that clip, I was like, do people like try to argue like he's doing it on purpose? He's trolling. Trust me, it's not that he has no fucking clue.
No, he has no clue.
He has no clue.
These people don't know anything about these fucking fandoms. They're just trying to grift in on them because it's popular.
Yeah.
But yeah, Zachary Levi, great guy by the sounds of it. At least he's got his head screwed on. His father passed away a couple of days ago, so much love to him. Unfortunately, Shazam 2, and I did find Shazam 1 okay. I quite enjoyed it.
I thought it was okay too.
But the second one,
it was just Black Adam, basically. Same level of just
it was just inoffensive superhero movie that honestly could have been. It was on the same level as I say Sky High, but I love Sky High. Sky High is one of my favorite movies. It's a fan, but it's like a jokey Disney movie, right? Back when Disney was still weird, but Disney. If you don't know what Sky is, Kurt Russell. Never heard of Sky High?
No.
You've never heard of Sky High?
Never heard of Sky High?
Sky High is awesome, dude. It's a superhero high school. It's got Bruce Campbell in it and Kurt Russell.
Yeah, he's like the coach.
Right?
Oh,
you got to watch it, dude. It's fun. It's a good movie.
Okay.
Man, that feels weird that me and Gary are aware of a thing that Az and Drink aren't. That feels strange.
Yeah, how did this happen?
Oh,
wow. People know things others don't. Crazy.
It's just weird that the two opposite ends of the age scale.
Well, yeah, we've had a 10-year head start on Mauler. We should know all this stuff.
Decades apart.
It got lost in the mix.
It won't hurt my feelings.
I was too busy still watching Wonder Woman.
Beauty or something.
Sure.
Yeah, it doesn't work out. I wish it worked out like that.
I mean, look at
Wisdom, apparently.
I was so much prettier when I was younger.
You're still a beautiful man, Gary.
The stream opened with Az declaring your beauty, so it's canon now.
Oh, both of your beauties.
This is an EFAP because we've gotten 3 minutes 48 seconds into the 5 minutes.
Yeah, we need to let this one run.
I would have been finished if we were having sex. I'm just saying.
Oh, you all know it's true. Don't deny it out there in chat.
Sam has always been off kind of in his own part of the DCU, so he connects very well.
What? That doesn't even make sense.
He's always been off on his own shit.
Shazam has been completely off in his own part of the DCU, so he easily connects. What?
Yeah, they lost me on that one.
I don't know why they're sticking with fucking Matt Reeves' Batman. Puts him in a weird position because it did just well enough to keep it around. It did, and it wasn't terrible. There's parts of it I really liked. I don't know why they're continuing with it though. Like, it's not. Are they going to make the next one
a release date?
If they make the next one rated R, then now we're talking.
Yeah,
now we're talking.
I think it got a good fan reception, and I think Pattinson's young enough to carry the mantle of Batman for the next decade or so.
Is Batman going to wear a skirt?
I really hope so.
I mean, I'm hoping. That's all I'm saying.
But
what I want to see from his version of Bruce Wayne is more moping. I think he was too buoyant and exuberant in the first movie.
I totally agree. Yeah, he was way too positive and happy.
Moves directly into The Flash, a fantastic movie that I really love. That resets the entire DCU.
I'm sorry, he got a fantastic movie that I really loved.
He had to rehearse that line. That is some Hollywood, dude. That is Hollywood speak. This movie is done.
Yeah, this movie's shit.
But pay attention to what he said there. This resets the entire DCU.
Yes. Oh, The Flash, yeah.
Yeah.
That was pathetic even for Hollywood, Gary. Like, I really love that movie. Trust me.
By the way, he uses the word fantastic to describe movies over and over again in this.
I talked to somebody who saw the test screening of Flash. Nice kid. I don't mean to disrespect the kid at all. He likes a lot of stuff. But he really liked it. Said it was really good.
The Flash.
Chris Gore has passed that information on too. Yeah, the Flash. Henry Cavill is in it. There's 3 Batman in it. Don't know if they're going to stay in it or not, but yeah. So it sucked, basically. I don't freaking know. I don't like Ezra Miller. I don't like him as an actor. And honestly, I've said this before. I don't care if he was a good Christian boy who just obeyed the law and did everything. He's horribly miscast as Flash. Horribly miscast as Flash. And there's 2 of them in it? Oh, that's a little hard for me to stomach. They'd have to bring like
the
Christian
Hollywood
Bale.
producers
They'd have to bring back Christian Bale, Adam West back from the dead, Michael Keaton, and call it Batman.
They have to throw in Tobey Maguire too. Come on.
But Gary, from what I know, the 3 Batmen that are in the Flash are Michael Keaton,
yes,
Ben Affleck,
and
Adam West.
Yes.
They're the 3 Batmen.
Christian
That's
Bale's
weird.
costume is in the movie. It's
Yes.
Bat Point. Dustin, you're right. Just call it Bat Point.
Yeah.
Bat Point paradox.
A Flash Point.
I mean, there was no. God, I just
didn't
don't
like
understand why
Flashpoint
they
in the
just didn't
comics
get
that much.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan to play Thomas fucking Wayne.
Just get him to play fucking Batman at this point.
But he would have been Batman. He would have been Thomas Wayne Batman in from.
But I mean, like, he would be good in Batman Beyond. I mean, Keaton would be better for the movie universe. But if you wanted somebody who actually looked like a Batman, an older Batman, Jeffrey Dean Morgan's pretty good.
No, let's carry on. It's going to talk about how Blue Beetle's fantastic.
Into Blue Beetle, a fantastic film.
Who's
What do
even
you
in
keep-
Blue Beetle?
It's guy from
Cobra Kai.
Dude,
Yeah,
you mean-
but he's not exactly an A-lister, is he?
No, and a blue like it's a fun, like really obscure character that they're not even basing it on the real guy, Ted Kord.
Ted Kord, yeah.
And like everything else, it could totally work. I just don't see it. It sounds like they were really going. Diversity was their priority in that storytelling, but James Gunn talks about that later, which kind of contradicts everything he's saying now. But can we just move past the bullshit days? Like,
No,
like
he's got
companies are
plenty
going
of
to eventually have to do this. They're going to like James Gunn does get real in the print interview when he talks about Henry Cavill. He's like, listen, we talked to him. I like him. And the previous regime dicked him around. He's been dicked around a lot. So that doesn't sound like a guy who's shitting on Henry Cavill. He just didn't work for our Superman, which is a giant red flag. Well, so we got to read the print version later to give context to the Superman, which I totally believe will be Timothy Chalamet.
Yes.
It'll be some wafy little young guy and not a man.
Film about a kid who's a marvelous part of the DCU, and then into
He was saying Marvelist.
Well, look, okay.
It just sounds DC just keeps saying Marvel over again.
Did he say
Marvel on
Marvel?
the
So go
brain.
back. I want to hear that.
This is Marvelist, doesn't he?
Oh.
Sounds like Marvelist.
and then into Aquaman 2, about a kid who's a marvelous part of the DCU, and then into
Sounds like
Marvelous.
marvelous part.
A marvelous part
Oh,
of
he's
the
saying
DCU.
marvelous, but it sounds like marvelous.
Oh, I thought
That's weird.
I thought you knew he was.
It's weird that that's where your brain went to.
Yeah,
I know,
yeah.
I know.
I like the kid from
Marvelous.
Cobra Kai. I like him. We'll see if he does a good job with the movie.
to Aquaman 2.
Marvelous. Better. Come on, do
Oh,
better.
did you see Cobra Kai?
Do better.
Like did better than fucking everything. Every Star
Everything
Wars,
Marvel did. Yeah.
every Marvel thing, and Rings of Power,
Rightly
And it's
so.
getting
Rightly
one
so.
last season.
and it's only getting one last season. It's insane.
Was that is that enough to tell its story, or has it been like cancelled?
Yeah, maybe.
No, I think
six
that. Yeah, I think 6 seasons is enough. Like, they were kind of not running out of ideas, but it feels like it's coming to an end now anyway, like,
Yeah,
story-wise.
I don't think streaming shows are going to go like 10, 11, 12 seasons. I think, 4 or 5 will be the average.
Yeah,
That's
the
really
economy
good.
of them is really different, isn't it? Because it's not like cable shows or whatever, or terrestrial shows where they can make more money from advertising. Like, it's on a streaming service, so like what they bring in is just potentially more subscribers. That's all you get, but they're going to get more and more expensive with each season, aren't they? Like,
And
the
they
actors
are,
get
and-
more
and-
expensive.
We can talk about later like how the money is really, really drying up. And you're seeing a lot of consolidation. Paramount Plus just rebranded for the second time in 2 years.
Yes.
Yeah, they're done.
Wait, what do they rebrand to?
Oh, you're going to love this name. Paramount Plus and Showtime.
Wow, check it out.
I can't wait to go, honey, grab the remote. Let's fire up the Paramount Plus and Showtime
Channel.
Why couldn't they have amalgamated it and make like it Paratime or something?
Showmount.
POS,
Paramount Plus and Showtime. That's horrifying.
POS Plus. No, they have
POS,
shows.
piece of shit plus.
Hey, Tulsa King's the shit. Watch it.
Here we go.
Feeds directly into our next few projects, which I'm going to tell you about now. So, Peter and I, along with a group of very talented writers, have started to map out an 8 to 10 year plan of what DC Studios will be in film, television, and gaming. This first chapter is called Gods and Monsters. Now, this, what I'm about to tell you, is a part of the first chapter.
That's
Okay.
taken from the animated Gods and Monsters.
It is, but I like that title. Good title. And it like when I first said it, I'm like, oh, cool. We'll get some of the supernatural. We'll get some of the superheroes. I've always liked that mix. But then he goes on.
But then he goes on.
It's not the entire first chapter. The first project is Creature Commandos.
What?
Creature Commandos.
What?
That's your first project?
This one was already in production.
Lead with your front
No,
foot
no, he
forward,
wrote
guys.
Yeah, I
Fucking hell.
So the obvious thing to say is nobody knows who this shit is. Why would you do this? What are you doing?
I mean, this is something you announce after you're in chapter 4. Okay. All right. But it looks like he's spinning some stuff off from Suicide Squad. So there's going to be
Yeah, this Weasel,
multiple
this Weasel.
Suicide
Yeah,
Squads.
Is this just James Gunn like playing to his strengths? It's like,
Yes.
I'm good at Suicide
Yeah.
Squad, just gonna do another one basically.
Yeah, because Guardians, right, as well. That's where it all begins in terms of like, oh, you managed to kick off a whole ensemble cast with one movie or one, I don't know, story. So let's try and do it again and again and again.
And
I don't know. They
like-
need to kickstart all of this shit because they're so obsessed with getting their universe up and running. It's
And
a
this will probably be the
mistake.
thing I like. This Creature Commandos, I'll probably like it, but it's just a weird thing to start out with, man.
Hold on. Z3P says nobody knew who the Guardians of the Galaxy were at one point. That's
point.
true.
Very
They have the
However,
MCU behind them.
nobody, people used to like what Marvel humor, and now it's done to death, and
Well,
it's
it
the same.
created
The thing
Marvel
is, the
humor.
same thing here.
Yeah, but no,
that
Marvel
didn't-
didn't try and launch the MCU with the Guardians of the Galaxy.
That came way later.
Well, one could argue that Iron Man wasn't the smartest choice to launch with, but the film itself was so strong, right? And so you there's wiggle room for this, but I would never use Guardians as a counterexample. It's like Guardians was held up in essence as he was part of Phase 2, right? It was toward the end of it. So this is a movie everyone was like, I'll give it a chance. It didn't just drop out randomly. And maybe it would have done well had it. This could theoretically do well. But what we're commenting on right now is like if we were in a board of directors for like the best choices, we'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? This is
Well, this should be
why
Superman.
would you do this?
Why isn't this Superman? That should be their front foot forward. Was kicking off with Superman.
I mean, we all know that. That's you start with Superman
And this is
Batman.
animated. This is going to take time, and he's only been around for 6 months.
Yeah. This
So
is probably the only image they've got.
So this is an animated TV show that they're just going to launch.
Yeah.
I
That he
don't-
wrote.
nobody's
Like,
nobody's
James
going to
Gunn
watch
wrote.
it.
Yeah, like no
Wait.
offense, man, but I just don't. Why are you putting resources into something that's? You need to start with someone else. This is not a good
You
idea.
need to start with a bang. You need to launch and make an
Yes.
impact.
Yes. This is a damp squib.
I mean, are they taking the Star Wars approach, and it's like, well, we're just going to default to like shows on streaming services
Are
for
they
the time
taking the
being?
retarded everyone approach? Just splay out a whole bunch of stuff and hope.
Yeah, it's like like we don't have the resources to make movies anymore. I don't know.
Like Gary's been talking about, like, oh, there's losses in money that's getting more and more significant, and yet they still want to burn it, don't they? Like they're just like, hey, this one, why don't you just fucking do this? I don't know.
So what's this? This going to be on HBO Max?
Yeah, and again, it's playing to his strengths. I mean, these
no,
are
it's not, because HBO Max isn't even fucking available in most countries.
Well, I'm talking about the show, not the distribution. I just think it's probably an easy thing for him to write. It was animated, you know.
Is this even playing to strengths though? If it's an animated TV show versus a live action film?
No,
I don't know.
I wouldn't say so.
Well, I imagine the writing of
I'm not implying
as a comic book fan, I'm intrigued.
I'm not saying he can't pull it off because it's animated. I'm saying that this isn't going to get anywhere near the eyes that a full live action film would get.
No, Peacemaker, which a lot of people liked, did well. Is only getting season 2 because James Gunn. As far as how well it didn't do that well.
You guys just hate comics.
I totally hate them.
Well, that's us told.
I am bagging and boarding Star Trek comics, and the bags and boards are probably more valuable than the actual comics themselves.
Right? Yeah.
Well,
yes.
You know, the recent EFAB we covered the Puss in Boots movie and Pinocchio, and I saw a comment that was like, "Wow, I always thought you guys hated animation." And I was like, "Why the fuck would I hate animation?"
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. American Cal Arts animation, which is just modernism shit, garbage. Yeah, I don't like that stuff. But
Commandos,
Arcane, that Arcane show that you guys keep pushing on me, the animation's good in that.
Watch it, Gary.
Both of you will
go watch it.
I'm gonna watch that. I'm gonna watch RRR. Fine, and then when I'm done, you got to watch. Az has to watch Sky High. You guys got.
Gary, I want to watch Top Secret with you and Az.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Done.
I will invite Drinker this time.
Do it right now.
I guess I'm out of this one then.
No, I just said you're in too, okay?
Yeah, I'm just a fucking afterthought, Mauler, as always. Well, I just want you to know if there's a zombie apocalypse, you're not coming into my fortified compound.
Yeah, I'm not getting gay with you.
I
wanted to
happy to get
rabbit with a well-chosen Beaujolais to go with it.
I'm happy to get food and shelter, but there's some things there's some prices I'm not willing to pay.
Okay, you don't have to grow strawberries. Okay.
Animated series. I've written all the episodes. Something we're going to do that's a little bit different at DC is we're going to have characters move into animation, out of animation, usually having the same actor play their voice as who plays them in live action. The next project up is Waller. This is a story of Amanda Waller, played by Viola Davis.
And you know what this is? This was probably supposed to be right. Like, okay, Viola, she's good as Amanda Waller, as like a Nick Fury type, showing up in other stuff and pushing things around. Think she's fine like that. No problem with her. An entire show. Basically, this is supposed to be the Suicide Squad show. This is the Suicide Squad show that they were talking about. Some of this stuff got leaked and it was kind of right, kind of wrong. But I mean, they did get some stuff right. But yeah, this is supposed to be the Suicide Squad show, but it's just going to be called Amanda Waller, and we all know why. Well,
like
it's a strong black female lead, except she's a horrible person.
Yeah,
she's a freaking horrible person.
She's not interesting enough of a character to base the show around anyway.
No, I don't want to know about Amanda Waller's daughter or a home life or anything. Nothing.
Oh, dude, I would go with a Bloodsport TV show before an Amanda Waller one. Like, this is a kind of a weird choice. I can understand somewhat how he got here, unlike the previous one. But this is definitely, if he threw it up, I'd be like, okay, this will go in our tier 3 things. Like, tier 1, we got to sort out first. Okay, this is.
Idris Elba's not available. He's too busy sucking Klaus Schwab's dick.
Yeah, but the Bloodsport 1/6 scale, pretty dope.
Oh, great. Yeah, I ordered it.
Really good.
It's on its way.
Yeah, I got it already.
Because like, there's potential you can have this show be not as much about her, but a lot about DC anti-heroes and villains and stuff.
I like it.
But I would never fucking lead with this show. That's all. Like,
this
show could have
these
potential.
Two.
I mean, if it's just Amanda Waller name only, but it's just a Suicide Squad show, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, but we'll see.
Yeah.
But we know why they called it. Like, let's just not dance around that, okay? they just trying to.
But wait, is the show called Waller?
Waller.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm getting tired of the whole Harkness and Echo. And, just like they think they sound so fucking cool, don't they? Waller.
No,
the Suicide Squad sounds cool. That's a cool effing name.
Yes. Waller. I thought it sounds like Wall-E.
Hey, that movie's way better than this shit.
Hey, John Carter, the name killed that movie. That the name like John Carter.
Waller.
Yeah, they should have called it Carter.
It's
Waller.
Oopsies.
Oh!
By the way, we just went over 8,000 viewers, so thank you.
Hell.
Very nice.
Howdy.
Let's go.
Viola Davis is going to team up with members of Team Peacemaker, and this is a story that's been created by Crystal Henry, who did Watchmen, and Jeremy Carver, who...
Watchmen. Red flag.
Oof. Not the movie,
I think you guys
guys.
love the Watchmen show. What the fuck?
Not the movie.
TV show.
TV show.
Yeah, you loved it. I remember there was like an egg or something.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, when
And Dr. Manhattan did
Dr.
blackface.
Manhattan literally hands his balls to a woman, symbolizing giving his power to her at the end. That was my favorite part.
Hey, Gary. As we keep saying, that was so popular, it got renewed into cancellation.
It did. And one of the best videos out there on the first episode is Wolf. If it's still out there, you can find it. It's fucking good.
Oh boy.
created the Doom Patrol. It is a fantastic story that's out of this world, and I can't wait for people to see it.
I won't see it.
Okay. Next up is
Thank you for affirming my choice.
Okay, as.
I'm not going to say it. Okay, moving on then.
the big one, the true beginning of the DCU. This is called Superman Legacy.
Wait, so the beginning that we've just had is not actually the beginning
Why
at
the-
all. This is the beginning. This is
Why wouldn't you open with this in this video? Let alone the whole stupid plan. Why would you tell us about those two projects before
Okay.
Superman?
That which you should start with, and that's a terrible name for a Superman movie. That is, I think, a red flag.
well, this
dude,
is the origin, not origin story.
The origin
Why
and
would you
not
call it-
origin story, but like, what would be Superman's legacy? Isn't legacy kind of a
Oh god, it's
post-life
not,
thing?
Well, yeah, you'd
it's not
expect
going to be
that
his son, is it?
You'd expect that to be the end of his arc of films. The last one's called Legacy or something. You wouldn't expect the fucking first one that launches a franchise to be called Legacy.
Yeah.
Ah, I hate the structure of all this. Why would you? Like,
But
why?
yeah, for one, this is what you lead with, and they show All-Star Superman, and they seem to be really drawing from a lot of modern comics. Now, Creature Commandos is from Weird War, but it really it looks like fucking Hellboy. It looks like BPRD, which I'm a huge fan of. So
Like it doesn't make sense to call it Legacy.
no, that's a weird name. Like
That was a weird name.
All-Star Superman would have been better, to be honest with you.
Superman doesn't actually begins.
Superman totally. No
Man of
origin.
Tomorrow.
Superman totally not an origin story, but kind of is really.
Yeah. Or
We just
Superman.
skipped his dad dying of a heart attack.
Call it the Superman. Why not?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Well, okay, they do say that some of these names are basically placeholders.
Just call
And,
it Superman, son of Krypton, or something.
Yeah. I like Man of Tomorrow.
Man of Tomorrow is great because that picture is Man of for all seasons. You know,
This is being written by me. I'm in the middle of it. I'm having a great time doing it. And Superman will be released into theaters July 11th, 2025.
Okay.
Okay, the next
Whoa. Hold the phone.
Very specific.
That is
hold
very
on.
specific.
Wait a minute.
Oh, wait. I don't have that clip. Hold on. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
2.5 years, and you're halfway through the script. First draft.
I guess it's possible. Casting should be coming.
It's not. If you want a fucking proper movie.
3 years used to be the time back in the day. 3 years. Now there's a lot of ways to get around that. There's a lot of advances. So, but I think we get casting pretty soon. I think we do. If that's indeed the case, they need to be in production like tomorrow.
It's not even in pre-production.
No, he's writing it. And he's probably going to direct it. He should direct it.
I think this is going to be the one that they fast track through everything to produce, right? Superman makes the most sense. Whatever the fastest version of creating a film, as well as they can, that's going to be what this gets.
Mm-hmm.
He's got to finish the first draft. You would hope that it's not just the first draft that they go with, and they don't just write it as they go along.
We're lucky to get a fucking first draft these days.
Then it's got to go into pre-production. Then it's got to go into casting, filming,
but let's see what he says.
Post-production.
It's not necessarily what he says about Superman. It sounds like very traditional Superman. That's fine. It's something else that comes later, which that will be used with Superman. Elliot Page is Superman. I think he's saying that.
I hope so.
Do it, you cowards.
Yes.
I'd fucking dare.
Oh my god.
Neil Breen to direct.
Neil Breen Superman. Hell, well, Neil Breen looked like he directed Naomi.
How dare you insult Neil Breen like that?
God, that clip is so funny, dude. I forgot how funny that clip was until I saw your video.
Jane and I had never watched it all.
Pissing myself when
I had never seen it until you shared it on Friday Night Tights with me.
No.
It was just glorious.
I think you should show it afterwards.
Well, sure. I'll find it.
We're EFAPing the shit out of this.
Oh yeah.
This thing is a big premiere HBO television series called Lanterns. This is a story of a.
Now, this is what I'm interested in. This got me. This actually got my interest. Jon Stewart, Hal Jordan, Green Lanterns, Police in Space,
buddy cops.
I like it. I like the sound of this.
I would trust James Gunn to do something like this. This seems like it would be in his wheelhouse.
Well, he says True Detective like series, and I'm like, like season 1. Oh, now we're talking.
What do you think about TV show versus movie?
I mean, if it's a good TV show, it could have more life in it. To be honest,
yeah, I think serialized storytelling is made for TV. I think somebody like Superman is better for movies because he's the more you tell the more epic stories. Although he's been the best example of a superhero that has had success in television series, like the most successful. But you could tell the more grandiose stories. I think this would be tailor-made. This would be better as a series. Especially since it's, we'll wait till he explains it, because what he explains sounds intriguing. It does.
A couple of Green Lanterns, Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan, and we have a few other lanterns peppered in there, but this is really a terrestrial-based TV show, which is almost like True Detective with a couple of Green Lanterns who are space cops watching over Precinct Earth. In it, they discover a terrifying mystery that ties into our larger story of the DCU.
See,
I still am annoyed that that's the focus immediately instead of it being like
instead of it being its own thing. Yeah.
Obviously, it can work out. It's just
it can work out. If you do it kind of like how Russell T Davies did the overarching stuff in Tennant's era, which wasn't every episode. They just pepper something in. That's the best way to do it.
What do you think? What's the first galactic threat going to be then? Darkseid?
Darkseid.
Gotta be Darkseid.
People are gonna get pissed because they're gonna miss Snyder Darkseid.
Well, I mean, comic-wise, that's the one thing he did right.
No, I know. I remember people praising the hell out of him. That's what I'm saying, is that they will be annoyed because they will.
Uh-huh.
I don't know how long it'll be before like sort of the Snyder side of things eventually gives up. You got a Brainiac as well, right?
Well,
they will never surrender.
Well, because like I've seen the suggestion that he sell the Snyderverse to Netflix so we can continue. It's like the amount of rights issues that would even have to get past to happen is like an impossibility. There's no way you can like, I don't even know how that looks. Like the IP of the Snyder versions of all of the DC characters going to Netflix specifically. The amount of fucking contract paper you'd need to make that, you know, I just don't think that's ever going to happen. But that's like the new sort of hope of saving his films, right? Because he's got his new film coming out soon. I forget the name of it. You guys gonna check that out?
Well, I hope it's like Army of the Dead.
Rebel Moon.
Rebel Moon.
Yeah, I am gonna check it out.
Did you check out Army of the Dead? I can't remember.
Rebel Moon is a Star Wars pitch that he was denied. That he just made it his own thing.
I'm gonna wait, like I waited with Army of the Dead, because I didn't have to watch Army of the Dead after hearing everything.
No, I didn't
have to waste my time.
I watched 10 minutes of it, and I couldn't see anything. And it's like watching a movie without my glasses on.
Also, Army of the Dead had what she called Tish.
Oh, Tig Notaro.
Tig Notaro. Fuck
right.
that.
Very. Thing is, she was very obviously green screened in
she was
to
edited
replace
into
that
the
other
movie.
dude.
I know, right?
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, because the character she was replacing, I think the actor got Me Too'd or something, so
yes.
he had to be removed. And she was just digitally put in, and it's just really obvious that she was acting with no one else around her.
Yeah.
I don't understand the appeal of Tig Notaro. It sounds very
she's
DEI. Speaking of DEI, hit play.
Next is a big movie called The Authority. The Authority is a passion project of mine. It's based on the Marvel.
Based on the Marvel what?
Keep going.
No, passion project of mine. How about thinking about other people?
I was going to say, I wonder how many of these things are going to end up being passion projects of James Gunn's.
Yeah.
It's like, this is just his own personal playground.
Play the whole thing. Go back to the starting and play the whole thing. I want to hear what he says, and then I'll tell you what The Authority is, if you don't know.
Next is a big movie called The Authority. The Authority is a passion project of mine. It's based on the marvelous WildStorm characters we are now bringing into the DCU.
Okay,
and we'll interact with.
So they're bringing in WildStorm characters. And The Authority, while a popular comic book, is like, it's boys-ish. It's a Justice League. It's got a Batman-like character and a Superman-like character who really like each other.
Yeah, they're yay.
Yeah, and like, but you're introducing a knockoff of the Justice League before the Justice League in your own universe. This is, again, something you should make in Elseworlds, but they're incorporating it into the DC universe, these are WildStorm characters. And I just don't think they work right now. I think this is obviously it's James Gunn doing what he wants to do, and it's very DEI because of the two gay male leads. So that I guarantee you that's it got an Eternals like promotion because they're able to mess with things. Again, not a bad story at all. I just don't know how it fits into the DC universe when you're starting out again, and this is the biggest mistake. If you're starting your DC universe again, you start it with Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. So far, I've heard Superman. Have you heard Batman and Wonder Woman yet? Oh, you will. Wait till we get to Wonder Woman.
Oh,
but yeah, is this evidence of his pull then? Because like, again, if I were in the fucking board meeting, I'd be like, who the hell are these guys? And as the like resident normie, I'd be like, I need to be able to have known who these people are if you're going to be pitching any of these things, because that's like the trouble DC is in. So the fact that he could just be like, yeah, but I care about this. Is that the level of power James Gunn has with DC? He can just tell him like, I'll make it work. I'll make it work. Trust me.
I mean, if they're desperate enough for something,
I just don't know.
Like, seems like the guy that's going to save them. Maybe.
How many projects can they make before they have to like give up?
Hang on, Nathan in the chat says, I think WildStorm characters in the DC universe work. Yes. When were the WildStorm characters introduced into the DC universe? What year? How long had DC been around before they were introduced?
50 years? 60 years?
Many decades. Many decades. 50 years? Yeah, so my argument is, sure, introduce them in chapter 7, not in chapter fucking 1.
And your second movie.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's so much to gamble like I would even say, if Marvel in Phase 5 are like trying to bring in something like this, I'd be like, you guys need to start working again on gaining people's fucking interest and trust. Like I'm saying, even the MCU, I'd be like, don't. Let alone fucking DC beginning their franchise.
There's no talk of Green Lantern, and maybe you want to pepper, not Green Lantern, Green Arrow, pepper in some of your, because here's the comic industry with the big two. Marvel is Spider-Man, X-Men, Hulk, Iron Man, Captain America, and you go down the list and it just turns into C and D list characters. But Marvel is mainly Spider-Man and the X-Men, Fantastic Four. But if you want to talk about comic books that sell over and over again, it's essentially Spider-Man and X-Men. With DC, it's fucking Batman now. That's it.
Full stop. Yeah.
Full stop. It's Batman. It was Batman, Superman. Wonder Woman sold well for a while, but she was never a massive big seller. Teen Titans was for a long, long time. But those are your core characters that carry everybody else. Without those characters, there is no Marvel and DC. And you mentioned one of your core characters was, we aren't even at Batman yet.
Where's the grassroots characters? Where's your grassroots characters? There aren't any. It's all
this
space,
sounds like a huge
space.
gamble and a bad gamble.
If Flash is resetting everything, where's Flash?
He's resting.
Okay.
We use the Flash to destroy the Flash.
Genuinely speaking now, the reason we bring up all these components is because the only thing that can save all of these things is if they're really good. They have to be really fucking good now. Because at least a bad Batman, you can get a guaranteed certain result that can, like, I don't know, plug in a bit of life support to your franchise. That's kind of like the way you hedge your bets with these sorts of things. That's why I'm still baffled that it's like, the Authority. I'm sitting here like,
Whoa.
what the fuck?
Yeah, but Mauler, when you're so... DC is so invested in Batman because it's the only thing that sells. They put everything into it, which means putting all the dog shit writers that they have, and Batman gets diluted and diluted, and now you got Robin mincing around like a fucking God knows what, and you've got all these other ancillary characters. You got Girl hanging around with a fucking trans woman with a trans man with a bat. It's just fucking, you're killing it. Because they can't fucking produce good stories. And then you get your writers, your stunning and brave writers who all go into a nice little room together and talk about how they want all the characters to be like them. That's what you get. That's why the Batman probably did 770 million at the box office and not $1 billion.
Which it should have done. We'll see. I think the Authority is weird. So it's a passion project. Is he going to direct it?
I don't know.
Probably not.
Yeah, Pregnant Joker. Don't forget Pregnant Joker and fucking hell.
You said Pregnant Joel then. I was like, wait, what?
The Last of Us Part 2.
Well,
Listen,
yeah,
okay,
again,
Pregnant Joker I can understand, but Joel.
No. No, like it's just really weird doing a knockoff Justice League before you establish your Justice League. It doesn't sound like a good storytelling choice. It sounds like an impulsive.
Dude, this is
what James
decision.
Gunn. This is what I was worried about with James Gunn. This is the stuff he's attracted to, which is fine. This is like, I've been reading comics for a long, long time, and I like all the peripheral stuff. There's plenty of customers who I don't like Superman.
Like
and
all the
Batman.
quirky worky shit.
Yeah, that's fine. There's
guy.
a place for it, but like you're trying to establish your new DCEU, and you're doing it with you're leaning into your strengths. With this is the quirky stuff, because James Gunn doesn't. I want to be proven wrong. I want to see him do a very traditional heroic Superman. That needs to happen.
Who are they going to put up against the Authority? That's an easy question to answer. The ability to sell tickets to watch it.
I would get if you want to get like obscure teams. I like the Planetary better than the Authority.
Why don't they just do the Titans properly on screen? Put a Titans movie out there. Put a Justice Society movie out there. Do something that's got a recognizable brand behind it. Sweet Jesus. Jesus.
All
What
right.
is that noise?
Somebody's typing.
Oh, that was me. Sorry, that was my keyboard.
All of our primary DCU characters. The Authority are a group of superheroes who think the world is broken and they want to fix it
Oh, God, it's deconstructed again. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
by any means necessary. I think it's a very different look at superheroes. We're doing a television series.
What do you mean different look from superheroes? That's all we've been fucking fed. Peacemaker, fucking the other stuff from Netflix,
Boys.
goddamn boys.
I think, we're well and truly into the deconstruction phase of superhero
It
stories.
doesn't make you clever
and it's-
anymore. Stop.
Yeah, it's not new.
Is called Paradise Lost. Paradise Lost is the story of Paradise Island, usually known as Themyscira, which is the birthplace of Wonder Woman. It's almost like Game of Thrones with Westeros.
So is it about the women taking over and killing all the men of Themyscira?
Sorry, did you say?
There's no men in
It's
Themyscira.
like-
There's no men in Themyscira.
I'm just going by the artwork there.
Yeah.
Look
That's
at
just
this bit.
they're being attacked. That's them being attacked.
What the fuck? Why?
So an all-female
But-
Game of Thrones, huh?
Why?
Are they nude? Yes, the men will be nude.
Now, if the women are nude, okay, I'll watch.
You've got yourself
All
a
the
deal.
Count me in.
Paradise Island. The introduction of the DCU's
So we might not even, that might not even be Wonder Woman either. Might not even have Diana there. It just might be
It'll just be the other Amazons,
the
I guess.
Themyscira.
To answer the chat,
Dude,
I have no
genuinely-
1/6 scale heads near me right now to break my monitors. I've
Moved
kept them all
away.
away. I moved them all away.
Some of this feels like just your friend has all their money and they're just like, I'm just gonna put it on 37. You're like,
I'm gonna invest
why?
it all in Bitcoin. Why? No.
37 in Bitcoin.
Why not like announce a Wonder Woman movie?
One.
This,
And I'm at
this,
the point,
all
by the
of
way-
this stuff. This is the kind of project that you launch if you're Marvel and you're like 5 phases in and you've got money to burn and you can just experiment and do random obscure shit. If you're trying to get your franchise off the ground, which it desperately needs after 10 years of false starts, you need safe bets. You need to launch with the big 3. You need to do classic stories that will get people invested again. Nobody cares about your passion projects on this one, James.
It seems so obvious to me. It's painful. Like the idea that you get those big 3 going, and then the TV shows like Green Lantern or like whoever else, and then you have cameos right at the end, maybe with your big stars from the other movies, and then the Green Lantern movie comes out to cap it off, or whatever. We would have discussions over whether or not those are good ideas because they all seem like the more obvious and reasonable ones that are safer bets. Why are we talking about a Westerosi all-female TV? What?
It's poorly titled too. It should be called MILF Island.
That got taken, Gary.
It did?
Sorry.
Okay.
TLC or whatever channel they got it, I'm afraid.
If they did it as a reality show, okay.
Wilf Island, they're gonna call this.
I just cannot.
Is
see
James
anybody doing-
trolling? Like, is he like, I'm gonna see
It
what I can get
feels
away
like
with?
it to me. But hold on, there's more.
There's more.
Let's get to Batman.
Oh god.
The introduction of the DCU's Batman is The Brave and the Bold. The Brave and the Bold is the story of Batman and his actual son, Damian Wayne. This
Okay, first of all, the Brave and the Bold has nothing to do with Robin. It's just it's the name of a comic where Batman would team up with other people, Wonder Woman, other characters.
Damn good book. Love
Damn good book, great book. But
like the title.
calling this Brave and the Bold again, fingers crossed, loose title.
it. And skipping to like
Yeah, Damian Wayne is the actual son of Batman after Talia al Ghul in the comics raped him.
yes. And this happens so much later, and he's sticking with the Grant. Like you notice Warren Ellis, Grant Morrison, which is fine. Again, if you lead your way up to these stories, starting with it. So where's Dick Grayson? Where's Jason Todd? Well, we know where Jason Todd is, but this
Well, we
is
know
a
where
very
Tim Drake is.
strange. So again, can we get a Batman and Dick Grayson Robin? Would that kill somebody? Is that like it's something Hollywood just refuses to do? Sure, it wasn't great when they did try it.
Dan Didio, however you want to pronounce it, changed Dick Grayson to Richard Grayson. Rick Grayson. Because he thought, he was like, because Dick sounds silly.
When I was reviewing the first season of Titans, I was doing a lot of Dick jokes. I was like, man, they've been awfully hard on Dick on this episode, but Dick rose to the occasion. It was fun.
Drinker, unfortunately, has to bow out just before Damian Wayne cuts off Batman's head.
Oh, no. What's going to happen next week?
Anything you'd like to plug before you go, dude?
No, it was just a pleasure to be here. Thank you, gentlemen. I wish I could have stayed a bit longer.
Brother.
I really appreciate it, dude.
I'm sorry we EFAP'd the shit out of this video. It was probably the sort of segment you'd get through in about 15 minutes normally.
Oh, no. We were going to spend time on this, trust me.
Oh, we're going to be talking about this all week.
Yeah.
This is a lot to break down.
It ain't the real BBC for nothing, you know.
Yep.
That is true. Well, have a great remainder of the stream, gentlemen. I'll catch you next time.
Brother. Take care, man.
Dude. Take care, man.
Soon.
Cheers.
Here
we go, Brave and the Bold.
This is based on Grant Morrison's great comic book run. Damian Wayne is my favorite Robin. He's a little...
That's why he's in, because he's James Gunn's favorite Robin. Fuck everyone else. Fuck Dick Grayson. Fuck getting that story as a young Dick Grayson coming in as a Robin or anything. No, my favorite Robin's Damian, so that's what we're doing. My stuff. My favorite group is these guys, so we're doing this stuff. My favorite show is True Detective, so we're gonna do this stuff. It's jeez, man.
Little assassin who Batman tries to get in line, and so this is the story of the two of them and the beginning of sort of the Bat family in the DCU. Next up is
that's that.
So he's fucking with the whole timeline then, right? If he's still gonna have the other Robins, but they're all in reverse order, I guess.
No, they weren't. No, I think.
Not all?
I think there might be. Maybe there's reference. I mean, I think if anything, they might be reference to previous Robins, but otherwise, no. I don't think we're going to see Dick Grayson come in as a Robin after Damian Wayne or anything like that. No, sir. Damian Wayne is still the current Robin in the comics.
He said they're going to introduce the Bat family, so it's probably going to be through Batman. So you get Nightwing and
Nightwing, Batgirl.
You'll get modern.
Maybe
Jason
Cassandra
Todd.
Cain. Maybe Blooper.
Oh, you're going to get a lot. Yeah.
They'll bring in who was the other Robin? One that patrols by day. Forgot what his name is. Well, we don't know what they're going to do with Barbara Gordon.
I like Booster Gold. I do. I'd watch something. It's just
now then. But this should be Booster Gold and Ted Cord.
Yeah, I mean
Blue Beetle. That's what this should be.
Good little team up there.
No,
Will they do that?
The one that calls himself the Signal now calls himself the Signal. That Duke, Duke. They might bring him in. I reckon they'll bring him in.
I think the casting will tell the story. You're right, chat. I'd wait for the casting on a lot of this stuff, especially when we get the Supergirl.
I love the way. By the way, I love the way that he sells the Booster Gold TV show.
He's a loser.
Being very sarcastic.
Yeah, he's a loser.
He's a loser.
TV series called Booster Gold. Booster Gold is one of comics' really popular cult heroes. He is a fascinating guy. He's a loser from the future who uses future technology to come back to present day and become a superhero so that people will love him. It is basically the superhero story of imposter syndrome on an HBO Max series.
Well, what are his powers?
He's got that suit, and he's got that supercomputer. He has knowledge of the future. He becomes a hero, though. He definitely becomes a hero.
All right.
It could be a good. It could be a good character arc. We'll see. I don't know. He is
one of my favorite.
chat.
Favorite comic book series from last year was Tom King's run on Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow.
Woman of Tomorrow, huh?
Yeah, so that's why they didn't use Man of Tomorrow, because they gave the good Superman title to Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. Now wait till you hear what story they're basing this on and where they're going from. Because what the name he brings up is one of the reasons I stopped reading comic books was this guy.
Well, Tom King.
Tom King.
Tom King is the reason I did with Batman. He drove the Batman title into the ground. He turned Batman into a pathetic, feeble, mummy fucking boy simp. He fucking killed Alfred. He killed the fucking whole interest in Batman. Garbage run. Fucking garbage
a
run.
bunch of comic shops into the wedding of Batman and Catwoman, to where they were having events and stuff, and then and knew they were going to pull the rug out from them, but they were they got these comic shops to buy thousands of copies, spend a bunch of money, and then
went into 3 print runs.
A couple of employees found out in a DC Facebook group around the country that they were going to pull the rug out, and they called them on it. They're like, "Oh, this is fucking bullshit. This is fucking bullshit." And Tom King, behind the scenes, tried to get those employees fired, got them banned from groups, got comic shops banned from the groups, got the comic shops in trouble with Diamond.
Tom King was the first person, by the way,
CIA
to sign the "I won't rape my fellow employees."
Yeah. Also tried to cancel an Asian man, Jay Lee, a great artist. Hellshock, I fucking love that comic book, for doing a cover for EVS, and just woke up one morning and said, fuck this guy, I'm going to cancel him. He was on his way down to San Diego to go bury his dead dog when he found out. Fucking piece of shit, Tom King.
By the way, Jim Lee slapped Tom King around the fucking head because Jay Lee just happens to be Jim Lee's best mate.
His bud. Yeah. So Tom King was that was kind of it for him. After that, he was writing for the New Gods with Ava DuVarnish. And
Ava
DuVarnish. Yeah, and that never happened. That one got canceled too.
What was the Flash one that he did? Heroes of what was it? What was he? The 7-parter. Hold on. Let me see if I can fucking Tom King.
Tom King
Heroes in Crisis. By the way, Tom King is somebody who's fucking in crisis up here.
Yeah.
He did Heroes in Crisis, which absolutely fucking destroyed Wally West Flash.
Yes.
Absolutely destroyed Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn, by the way, folks, is so amazing and brilliant that she managed to take out Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman in the same fucking room at the same time.
Well, she does have a baseball bat, dude.
Yep. I can't stand Harley
It was
Quinn
one
now.
of the worst fucking pieces of dog shit I've ever fucking read, which was unfortunate because I think Clay Mann did the art for it, and the art is great. But the writing was fucking by the way, this was based around a place where superheroes go to talk about their fifis. And they all sit down, and Batman sits down, and Batman has a good cry, talking about his fifis, because that's what Batman does.
They say, write what you know. I'm guessing Tom King goes to a lot of therapy.
Oh, yeah.
And has what's the complex where you want to screw your mom?
MILF Manor.
Oedipus. Help me, chat.
Oedipus complex.
Oedipus. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you kill your dad, you fuck your mum. That's probably Tom King in a nutshell. Oh my God, he is fucking atrocious, is Tom King. Atrocious. Carry on, shall we?
Let's go.
Yeah.
And so we're going to turn that into a big science fiction epic film. Now, Superman is a guy who was sent to Earth and raised by loving parents. Whereas Supergirl in this story, she is a character who was raised on a chunk of Krypton. She watched everybody around her perish in some terrible way. So she's a much more jaded character.
Oh,
Awesome.
great. Jaded superhero.
So Superman will be raised in privilege.
Yes.
Is this
Whereas the
from some
woman won't.
This was from a comic by Tom King. It's a massive retcon of Supergirl's story.
Because I've never even heard of this before. The idea is like she grew up on a chunk of Krypton. I was like, what the fuck?
Probably Kandor sitting bottle, but maybe not. It might just might not be Kandor, but I would imagine it would be, but you just don't know.
Is this live action?
Yeah, this is a movie.
Yeah, this could be a movie.
A movie. Wow. Okay.
This is the third film after the Forgettables. After Superman first, then the Forgettables, then the What the Fuck's coming.
And then they
sorry, Batman's son, and then What the Fuck.
They gave Supergirl Superman's title, The Woman of Tomorrow. And based it on a Tom King story.
Tom fucking King.
Tom fucking King story. You don't go back to Kirby or Danny O'Neill or not Roger Stewart, Jim Starlin. You don't go back to any of that. No. Let's go to fucking Tom fucking King. Not even Jeff Johns. Like, I know, like, Snyder fans like, fuck Jeff Johns, but Jeff
Johns is a great writer.
Great comic book writer.
Great comic book writer.
Not very good in TV and film. Not good at all, but great comic book writer.
And that brings me to Swamp Thing, the last thing we're going to talk about.
Maybe
a very
good.
dark horror story
Maybe
in
good.
the origins of the monster who is Swamp Thing.
If this is a rated R, maybe. If it's a PG, probably not.
This is I would still rank this as a bold choice, Swamp Thing film, but this one makes more sense to me.
Yeah, this will probably
sense. This whole slate makes no sense.
The slate makes no sense, but James Gunn producing and even directing a Swamp Thing movie would be good. Because of his trauma background, and Slither, which I liked. This would be definitely in his wheelhouse. That could be. And Swamp Thing is not that hard to make. I mean, Swamp Thing has been adapted into a TV series, two TV series, multiple movies already. They haven't gotten it quite right, but I like that old 80s
where's the mainstream appeal? Ultimately, for all that we love about heroes and our comics and whatnot, ultimately, these movies are meant to get bums in seats.
Yeah.
Hey, this is a hard fucking sell.
Yeah.
I wonder if this will be rated. I mean, if it's rated R.
That's the only reason I would think could be interesting.
Well, if DC truly wants to be different from Marvel, you need to make some. Do not make the Batman rated R. Don't make your Brave and Bold rated R. Do not do that. But Swamp Thing, sure.
Well, they talked about the potential for R-rated stuff in this franchise now.
Oh my god, you're right. This could be right.
Yeah,
Swamp Thing's going to be the climate change, environmentalism bullshit. Oh, you could. Oh man.
Get to the I think it was the either Deadline or Hollywood Reporter article where he expands his thoughts beyond this. After we're done.
Only outside of the rest of the DCU, it will still feed into the rest of the stories. Anyway.
Oh, so the next one, the next major film is actually outside.
Yep.
It's outside, but it's not.
So there's 4 movies coming out, right? Well, no, it's 5. No, is Authority going on HBO Max or is it going to be a movie?
Authority's a movie.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes.
And you know what? I hear somebody at WB going, do we have anything like The Boys? The Boys is really popular. Do we have anything like that? And somebody had to tell him that.
Is it still really popular? I see a lot of people shitting on it these days.
Here's the thing. Like, James Gunn probably knows. He says he's a big comic fan. He went to Comic Cons and all that, and he's been there. And okay, fine. But the people he's talking to have no fucking idea. Like, zero. Our good friend Robert was talking about this last night when he was talking about Picard. Like, there's no Star Trek executive currently at Paramount. So you have Kurtzman, who knows shit about Star Trek, pitching Star Trek to people who've never watched it and don't give a fuck. That's how we get shit like this. So this is where I'm completely underwhelmed and disappointed. I thought we'd get better from James Gunn, better pitches for the beginning of the DCU, and it honestly looks like more of the same that we've gotten from Warner Brothers.
I would have liked to have seen Green Arrow and Black Canary together.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would have been a really interesting.
Call it the Longbow Hunters.
The Longbow Hunters.
You know?
Yeah. Something like, fucking hell. That would have been a great little idea, I think, to go out there. Oh, it's
weird. It's
There's
really
about a
weird.
billion pitches they could have had in this video. This feels like one of the lower edge ones. Like,
do you know why? One of the reasons why people didn't go and see the Eternals is because nobody had a fucking clue who they were.
What? I know Fastos.
Fastos, more
and
like.
On top of that, they got the worst possible director with a terrible color palette, and you're doing like this massive demigod Greek story with fucking galactic people with this like really down to earth indie filmmaker whose previous best picture was Frances McDormand staring at fucking scenery for a couple hours.
Do you remember the discourse around that though? People were like, "Oh, Marvel will finally have its first movie, a real movie, maybe by a real filmmaker."
Yeah, and who started? You know who started that discourse? Disney Marvel.
Oh yeah, there's always something they run.
Our good friend Robert was talking about shills, and he was talking about paid shills. Yeah, nobody's ever said that critics are on the payroll, although I'm sure some have been in the past. There's in music industry, there's a thing called payola, right? So there is a form of payola amongst critics, but they don't need to spend money. Robert made a good point. Like, if you spend money, you got to invoice. You're absolutely right. You don't have to spend money. You go through the marketing department, you hand out a little bag of goodies, and you offer screeners. Mm-hmm. You offer screeners, and a lot of the content creators and stuff and interviews, and a lot of the content creators rely on being first with stuff because their points really aren't that interesting. So they're in competition of just being first with the information while not having a real interesting point of view. And then we have people like Mauler or the Critical Drinker who can review a movie from fucking 5 years ago and people will watch it. That's the difference. So a shill is somebody who's just fighting to keep that access. It's not money. It is not money. It is that would make more sense.
When we say bought and paid for, we don't mean physically in cash. We mean in interviews, goodie bags, everything that Gary's just discussed. That's what I mean by bought and paid for. Yeah, they are reliant on their access, and therefore they have to say what they do. Have to say to make it sound in a positive light, so they get re-invited back to get their access. It's a circle.
And it's Oh, go on.
I was going to say quickly, there's several industries that run on that, and you even see it in like when you look at interviews for just information, like Gary, you would have, and I have with my videos and stuff. But the interviewers that ask really shit questions that are really boring, softball everywhere, and it's like, well, of course they do. They want to be able to do this again. That's it. That's it. It's just like they're just trying to maintain the job, which in some ways you could be like, I can understand, but at the same time, it makes them some of the least interesting people ever because they're like.
Well, I was being interviewed by Mike at Clownfish. There's an interview with me up on the Clownfish website. Go check it out. And he used to do the press junkets and all this sort of thing. And he said something that was unfavorable to Netflix show, and they took him off for 6 months. Bad boy, you said something naughty about us. You're not getting invited for 6 months.
Okay.
I hope you learn in that 6 months what to fucking say. That's how it happens. It's real. It's legit.
Yeah, no, you're right. And what keeps them all alive as sources is just they're the first people to talk about the thing, like Gary said. It's almost like it trains you to be uninteresting.
Well, and they also
they'd
rely
rather
on
be first than good. So
okay, and I'm not going to say they also rely on human nature. All right, if you talk to the creator and they charm you, and like you don't want to personally attack somebody. Most humans don't. Okay, so they know that being invited something, even if you're not going to come back, you're going to get a nicer review. And it's the people who just stand their ground and go, hey, it's nothing personal. I met the guy, he was a nice guy, but that show was shit. Like, you got to still be able to do that. And some people can't, but it's more important to most. Well, for one, most entertainment reporters, a lot of sports reporters, most game reporters don't want to be game reporters, sports reporters, and entertainment reporters. They want to do politics. They want to do everyday stuff. So that's how they've turned so much of this shit into politics. Clay Travis posted a tennis player being talked to. Go check this out on Twitter. It's great. This tennis player keeps getting asked about the freaking Ukrainian-Russian war, and she's like, I'm an athlete. Why do you keep asking me this question? And Clay Travis answered it perfectly. He said, because they want to talk about the war, but they can't just unsolicited write their article. So they ask the question of the athlete who's a fucking tennis player.
Yeah.
And then they get to get their opinions out on the war, because that's what they actually want to talk about. They don't want to talk about tennis or competition. And the same thing is going on in entertainment. People want to talk about fucking identity politics all damn day, and they don't really give a shit about the DCU. They pretended to, but 80% of them, 80%, maybe more, are full of shit. Don't want any part of this, don't like this stuff, and will be gone once it stops being the thing that moves financially Hollywood forward.
Let's just get to the end of this. I don't think there's too much more to say.
Anyway, those are the stories that I can tell you about right now. I've loved the DC characters since I was a child. They're incredibly important to me. I knew that this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to do something very different. One of the things that's very important for me in all of these movies and TV series is that the director's vision and the vision of the writers and all of the creators is unique and something special. Storytelling is always king. That's all that matters to us. And I want to be true to those stories. I want to be true to you guys and really give you something different than you've ever seen.
Yeah, different in the fact that nobody's going to know what the fuck the Authority is.
Yeah, different would be a traditional superhero. If storytelling is king, why did you pick Tom King's fucking story?
Yeah. Tom Dogshit King.
Yeah.
Seen before. Anyway, thank you, everybody. I appreciate you watching. I hope this was exciting for you because it's really exciting for me.
Good
and
for
I
you.
can't wait to start to dive into these stories with you guys on this grand adventure. Thank you so much.
Gary, Mauler, we ain't going out of business anytime soon.
Well, we wouldn't be if he made good stuff too.
I know. But,
it
was a joke, Mauler.
I'm sad now. Why did they make all those decisions? It just seemed like DC's in enough trouble as it is, James. Like, they don't need you
Jim,
help everything.
For one, they can't call their Batman movie a Batman. They call it Brave and the Bold, and that probably has something to do with the Batman. They're going to keep the Batman. They didn't start out with Superman. They started out with Creature Commandos and Paradise Lost. An all-female Game of Thrones.
Wept.
I really like that. I want that conversation to be.
Hey, Gary, you know what? Sorry, boys, both of you. You know how well Wonder Woman 2 did?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah? Let's take out Wonder Woman and just put the fucking people that nobody fucking even gives a remote shit about in.
What is the logic? Why? And this is the thing. It could work out in some specific multiversal timeline where this will all work out, but it wasn't a good idea.
Somebody said going commando. No, we have a new saying, going creature commando. I don't know what that means, but Wonder Woman Man King. Wonder Woman King.
Well, do you know when I thought of the Waller TV series, I thought, I know why, the Woman King is gonna be the Woman King again. Right. But this time everyone will know it is actually fiction.
Wow. I'm sure the shills are just going to be beside themselves with this. This will be the greatest thing ever.
Oh, this sounds amazing. I've never heard of the Authority, but but I'm just going to pretend that I'm an expert because I just read a wiki page on it.
I'm sorry, this is a bad joke. Like, what are we starting with? Oh, well, of course, the Authority, Supergirl, and Swamp Thing movie. You're like, what the fuck? What do you mean? This sounds like Phase 4 of Marvel stuff, right? Where you just a bunch of random shit pouring out.
Randos.
I was worried about this. This is what I was worried. That's why I said my Superman thing. It's like James Gunn just likes, he's a quirky dude, and he works with quirky characters. I'm not sure he's a good fit for traditional heroes. And wow, that announcement just said it all.
It's like there's rights issues or something. Like,
it does. It feels like that, doesn't it? It feels like there was some DEI. Oh no, it doesn't feel like it. There was. I want to do this Suicide Squad show. Well, we need a show with a black female lead. Oh, Waller. We'll just call it Waller. Okay. We need something with women. Themyscira. Okay. Now we can balance out the two white guys. I mean, this is how Hollywood thinks. I wish it wasn't that way, but that's how they think. Instead of like, just, like the one good thing in there was Lantern. That sounds fun.
I hope so.
But
because that was the only thing that sounded remotely interesting from my perspective.
But here's the biggest mistake of all. Then Mauler brought it up. You shouldn't be announcing this much shit anyway. Period. This is ridiculous. You are trying to call your shot right now with something that has failed multiple times. As much as I like some of the stuff, it's been a miserable failure thanks to management not believing in the creatives. And this is now a company that's as much as in debt as it was back then. So I would have just come out with we're working really hard on a Superman movie. That's all you needed to do. Poor DC fans.
Wouldn't that have been remarkable?
Bad
His
rap, you guys.
Grand fucking announcement, and he just goes, Superman movie. That's
because this isn't made for fans. This is made for consumers. This is made for the fucking clapping fucking seals that will go watch anything, pretend they love everything. We'll do this on every React video that they fucking do to a trailer.
Bring up that article because like the article even brings like to avoid superhero fatigue. I mean, like it's happening. It's not even James Gunn's fault. Okay.
I got the cancellation.
I listed off in my last video. There was 20 something things came out superhero themed last year. And you know what was the most watched? The Boys. The one thing that hates superheroes.
and don't remember the key factor with the vast majority of superhero content is it's shit. It's just really shit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I got it. I found it. I got it.
Fuck, it's cold.
It's cold outside.
Don't break as we still got.
Don't ever do that again, please.
I am, dude. After fucking listening to that again, I'm fucking breaking. Fuck off.
Like, look at that headline.
James Gunn and Peter Safran unveil big DC plan with new movies for Batman and Robin, Swamp Thing, The Authority, Lanterns, TV series, and more. Where's Superman?
Missing? Where's Superman?
Don't you love how they ordered it in terms of like, okay, what do people know? Batman and Robin. Okay, that's number one. What's number two? Fuck.
Swamp Thing, Authority.
They weren't sure about the rest of it, obviously.
In the midst of their third month as newly appointed DC co-bosses, James Gunn and Peter Safran finally revealed their plan for an interconnected universe for the comic book giant, spanning largely films and TV in a strategy unlike the Warner Brothers brand has ever had before.
Whoa.
Entitled Chapter 1 Gods and Monsters, a portion of what will unfold between 2025 to 2027 includes 5 movies, including, well phrased, the Gunn-penned Superman Legacy, even though it's his first movie.
It's his first movie.
But it's his legacy.
It just sounds like they're going to lead up to kill Superman so Supergirl can take over.
Yes.
It just does, doesn't it?
It'll be like episode 3 of The Last of Us. It'll just be a self-contained story until Superman says, I've saved enough people. Time for me to kill myself.
Maybe you'll fly into the sun. You don't know.
Yeah, it's like, oh, hi, Chris. How you doing?
Oh my God.
A new Batman and Robin titled The Brave and the Bold.
Need to review the Eternals, Mauler.
Yes.
You need to review the Eternals.
All you need to do, Gary, is make me lose a bet at some point, and then make that the stakes.
Okay.
How about we watched 3 movies for you?
What do you mean? Those movies were amazing. Gary already watched 2.
Well, that's 5 movies between 2 people.
You were humbly invited and agreed to join me, and I'm
no.
more.
I was invited to what I thought was a friends gathering, and then I got told it was work. It wasn't work. It wasn't. I'm taking the mickey. Of course, it wasn't work. It's amazing.
You will
I'm trying to fight my case.
Hey,
you know,
I told my wife it was work. Like,
you
gotta work, honey.
6
I gotta
hours
watch
of work
Austin
now.
Powers. She's like, whatever.
Hey, technically work. Technically
really
work.
did miss you for Gold Member because it was better than I remembered it, honestly.
I gotta watch it. I want to watch it so bad, so I'm gonna probably watch it soon. But
Swamp Thing feature and films centering around Supergirl and the deeper universe. DC Rogue Squad, The Authority. Fuck. I know fuck all. Do you know the only thing I know about The Authority, Gary?
There's 2 gay guys in it.
Yes.
Okay.
That is it. That's the only thing that I've ever known when it's come to The Authority. That's it. The only thing that's ever been promoted.
Yeah, that was a big draw. I mean, it was
great.
It was it's not a bad comic. It's not. It was infrequent. Sold pretty well, but not great. And it's WildStorm, and I've never been a big Jim Lee fan. There, I said it. I think I'm a more Silvestri guy. I know a lot of X-Men fans love Jim Lee, but his Wildcat stuff was terrible. Was fucking terrible. Hey, Jim Lee, Wildcats. You relaunched it for the 17th time, can't remember, with Grant Morrison, and we got number 1. What happened to number 2?
Fucking hell.
That was 12 years ago, 13 years ago. No, more than that. 14 years ago. What happened to number 2? I remember when he was doing All-Star Batman and Robin with Frank Miller, and like issue 12 took, dude, I think that might have come out after I sold my store. Took years to get that last issue out. It was on the floor of his office, like dogs were walking on like the pages. And
yeah.
He's Jim Lee's a nice guy. He's not super motivated. He's not a super motivated go-getter.
No, he's let DC get a shit and just been the figurehead that cashes a check. Well done, Jim. On the TV side, there's an animated series, Creature Commandos, written by Gunn. The Peacemaker spin-off live-action series, Waller, with Viola Davis. A Lantern series, Booster Gold, and Paradise Lost.
I didn't even think about how Waller would be a spin-off of a spin-off.
Yes.
And you
just shit all over the main
spin-off of a spin-off. What the fuck?
Main characters.
What is this weird ass decisions, man?
These are weird, and these are what I was hoping wouldn't happen. That James Gunn would just pick the most obscure shit. Honestly, I mean, I expect him to get more obscure.
Outside of Waller, which has some of the returning cast of Peacemaker, there isn't any talent or directors attached to these projects, which are coming out in 2 years. Some of them. Just saying. Safran and Gunn conceived their grand design with an assembled writer's room who rifled off the latter's basic ideas. That group, including Christina Hodgson, Jeremy Slater, Drew Goddard, Crystal Henry, and Tom King.
So, okay, Safran and Gunn conceived their grand plan. Writer's room who ripped... Drew Goddard being in there is good.
Who riffed off, not rifled off, but riffed off.
Riffed off of the group, including who riffed off Latter's basic ideas. The group included Christina Hodgson, Jeremy Slater. Drew Goddard's good. Him being Tom King being in there bad. So that negates Drew Goddard.
Yeah, they cancel each other out.
No, Drew Goddard's good.
I don't think Christina Hodgson, that name fucking sets off an alarm bell. I need to check.
Well, this is peripheral.
Well, yes, she wrote Birds of Prey.
Yeah.
Wait, the movie?
Yes.
Oh.
What he said about Henry Cavill. Trying to look.
Oh, I knew that fucking name rung a bell. Crystal Henry's there for Waller.
Well, I'm sure you'll get to it in that article. I was looking at a different article, but I'm sure they're the same.
Jump below and read the details on each project. Overall, the game plan is 2 movies a year and 2 series for HBO Max in what is an 8 to 10 year plan. As for which projects are right for TV and which are right for film, Gunn said, it's all story-based. To us, storytelling is 100% king. So if it's a story that's more complicated, like The Lanterns or Waller's story, or has more of an independent TV vibe like Booster Gold, then that's more suited for television. It has to do with tone storytelling, and if it's something that we can tell in 2 hours and 10 minutes, or is it something that we need 7 to 8 or 9 hours for? You don't need 9 fucking hours for Amanda Waller or Booster Gold. I would say, Lanterns, because you could, follow different strategies with that one, different formulas with that one, but Superman, you just get 2 hours, 10 minutes. Waller needs 9 hours for that complicated story. It might seem like it's all deep universe stuff, straying from the core Batman and Superman of it all, but there is a method to Gunn and Safran's madness. Madness is the right term. One of our strategies is that we take our diamond characters, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and we use that to help prop up other characters that people don't know. Like what happened with Guardians of the Galaxy in some way. Like taking teams like the Authority, which I know is just a spectacular idea for a film, but is completely different, a completely different take on superheroes, because it's really connected to Superman. It's about to use those well-known properties to help lead into lesser-known properties, says Gunn. We're going to promise that everything from our first project forward is going to be unified, said Gunn. But we've gotten very lucky for the next 4 projects, added the filmmaker on the slate that was previously shepherded by former DC boss Walter Hamada. Those being Shazam, Fury of the Gods, March 17th, Flash, June 16th, the latter, which Gunn says, resets everything. I will say here that Flash is probably one of the greatest superhero movies ever made, said Gunn. Well, then wiping away any doubt about the future of Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman, Jason Momoa's Aquaman, and Zachary Levi's Shazam, Safran emphasized, these 4 movies are terrific. There's no reason why any of the characters or the actors that play those characters are not part of the DCU. That's nothing that prohibits them from happening. There's nothing that prohibits that from happening.
Only Henry Cavill.
Only Henry Cavill, who's difficult to work with, apparently, allegedly, because Henry actually wants the show to be like the source material.
Well, could you imagine being a plucky Hollywood writer director who's running around and just pissing and shitting everywhere, and then someone like Henry walks up to you and says, "Can you stop doing that?" Could you imagine how annoying that would be?
So,
that is disgrace.
What James Gunn is doing, again, is Hollywood speak, and he's not lying. If any of those, if Blue Beetle or Shazam or Flash are massive fucking hits, of course they're going to keep the people around. Of course. If they're not, they're not. That's it.
What about that massive hit that was The Eternals? Or that massive hit that was Black Widow? Or that massive hit that was Shang-Chi?
What was the thing they said about Shang-Chi over and over again? It was exceptional. Or it was
absolute triumph.
Absolute triumph.
It's fucking amazing. Some of the best fight scenes ever in cinema. It isn't a superhero. Isn't that what Campia said?
That's what a normie would say.
Has he been hanging out with Frank and Bill? I say, then wiping what? Yeah. There's no reason over the fucking hell. We'll incorporate characters from the past, but mostly we'll cast anew. Added the producer of Aquaman and Suicide Squad. Ditto for the creators of these recent projects. Gunn and Safran would love to re-team with Flash filmmaker Andy Muschietti. Currently, James Wan is focusing on finishing Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Then there's Blue Beetle on August 18th. That sort of has its own world and fits in directly into our DCU. Makes no sense. That's a contradiction. Followed by Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom on Christmas Day, which leads into the universe that Gunn and Safran are mapping out.
What a bloody Christmas that'll be.
Oh, God, I'm fucking happy New Year. As everyone here probably knows, the history of DC is pretty messed up. There is the Arrowverse. There is the DCEU, which then split, became the Joss Whedon Justice League at one point, became the Snyderverse at another point. There was Superman and Lois. There's the Reeves verse. There's all these different things Gunn said at the top of the session. Even us, we came in and did Suicide Squad, and that became Peacemaker. And all of a sudden, Batmite is a real guy that's never been set up, said the Guardians of the Galaxy filmmaker and Marvel Studios vet. No one was minding the mint, Gunn criticized. They were just giving away IP like they were party favors to any creator that smiled at them.
Wow, that
was good.
That's like the most interesting thing that's been said in this whole thing.
Yep.
This is true.
What of Todd Phillips's sequel Joker, A Folie à Deux, and Matt Reeves' Batman sequel, an HBO Max Penguin series? As previously reported, Safran confirmed that such vias from his and Gunn's plan will be labeled clearly as DC Elseworlds, just like the comics do. Also still in the works, J.J. Abrams' Ta-Nehisi Coates' Black Superman project. Woo. A draft is being waited upon. Fuck yeah. How many years ago was that announced, Gary? 2.5?
2.5, easily.
Gonna come out right after Rian Johnson's trilogy.
Any minute now.
Happy birthday, Gary. I know what you'll be doing as a present. Let's take Gary to watch Blue fucking Beetle.
I know, right?
It's my birthday. Why are you being so horrible to me? I don't think we're ever going to see the Ta-Nehisi Coates, J.J. Abrams Black Superman.
Where the fuck is J.J. Abrams?
Spending his 500 mil.
Shouldn't there be something about that in James Gunn's address? Like, what the fuck's going on there?
It's got out to do with him.
He's still got a lot of power. You don't want to. He's being political. He's being super political about this. I just think you will hear a lot of these titles change. A lot of these things get delayed and moved around. This is a lot to put up front. I even go look at Phase 4 when it was announced. When it had Quantum Mania and the Fantastic Four movie in it. And now they don't. So a lot of this shit will change, probably.
Dude, Quantum Mania is coming out soon, dude.
Is it next? Is it February?
It's coming out in 2 weeks. Two and a half weeks.
Dude.
Chris Gore's going to see it.
Yeah, I'm busy that day.
Early. I'm going to see it.
Someone's going to force you to see it as.
I'll probably end up. When should I buy tickets to? I'll find some movie to buy.
Do you know, I could not watch that at all. Turn up on Friday night tights.
And you could
say some stuff. And nobody would fucking know different.
Yeah.
We should do it right now.
Every Marvel film is the fucking same. Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, I watched Ant-Man. I mean, what did you expect? It was a Marvel movie. It just followed all the tropes. We had that dumb humor. You know, we had the fucking ridiculous CGI, fucking massive fights that you didn't know. Kang turned out to be pretty ineffectual. Ant-Man himself, second stringer to his daughter, to Michelle Pfeiffer. Again, just as we know, Michael Douglas, we expected that to happen to him. We expected that. I mean, there you go. Just can you play that on Friday night?
There wasn't much of a story there anyway. It was mostly setting up other shit. There's that cameo was shit. I can't believe they threw that in there. They're getting desperate. MODOK was hilarious.
I'll just play that when it comes out on Friday Night Tights.
Why not?
Az, what did you think? Just play this video.
Yep.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, I get.
I'm still gonna make you watch it.
But Az, I want to know what you think of MODOK. I gotta know.
Winking at the history of previous DC films, Red David Ayer's Suicide Squad and Snyder's Whedon's Justice League projects were known for their reshoots. Gunn promised,
yeah, they were.
People have become beholden to dates, to holding dates, to getting movies made no matter what. At the end of the day, I'm a writer at my heart, and we're not going to be making movies before the screenplay is finished. Don't we know that?
Why the fuck is that being declared as like?
I don't know.
Oh, because that is a straight up shot at Marvel right there.
Because they write on set.
But, oh god, it's like, we're going to be telling a story. It's like, I'm not going to appreciate any of this shit until you start doing things that are like better than base. Like, fuck, we've got to the point where it should be celebrated. They have a first draft. It's unbelievable.
We are not going to make a movie until we have a script.
Give us a clap. Come on. Fuck.
Phenomenal. 10 out of 10.
So best groundbreaking. So groundbreaking.
I can't believe what the fuck I'm reading. Oh my god.
and if it means wait for the day where they finally say we are going to do a second draft. That's what. Yeah.
We got to be honest. We did a first draft and we ended up making some changes to it.
Yeah, we went through it again, and honestly, there was like one or two things where I was like, maybe we should change that.
Yeah.
And some other guy was like, yeah.
It was
incredible.
Revolutionary thing. We got a fresh pair of eyes to look it over.
We and then one day we gave it a third draft. There wasn't that many reshoots for this one. Some people say it's to do with that like script prep, but I've never known that. I can't believe how normal reshoots have become for like even like 80% of the fucking movie.
When Kevin Feige said, I thought it was just us who had to work really hard and reshoot and retool every movie, but I wasn't alone. I found out Disney did that. Disney Star Wars did that too.
I realized I wasn't the only incompetent fuck. The
looked
whole
over-
company's incompetent.
I looked over the fucking flaming dumpster that was Star Wars' IP and wondered, do they suffer like we do?
I was listening to that interview and I'm like, this is why he doesn't do a lot of interviews. I get it. Okay.
Oh man. And if that means our plan has to shift a little bit, it's going to happen. We know it's going to happen. We're not going to be making movies and putting hundreds of millions of dollars into a film where a screenplay is only two. Stop talking about not finishing a script. Jesus fucking Christ. You've already given a release date for Superman and you've already said you haven't even fucking written it yet.
Yeah, dude. Like,
you dumb fuck. It's literally the script's gonna be fucking ready now for pre-production to begin.
I think he said he typed a couple words already. Like, that's more than Marvel ever does.
It's true.
God fucking Christ.
He has a title. That's impressive, isn't it?
Yeah, Superman Legacy, which is what you should probably call the last movie in a fucking Superman thing. He hasn't got a legacy yet. It's his first fucking movie.
I know. It's so weird.
Stupidest name. Stupid. Oh, 2/3 of the way done, and we have to finish it while making the movie. Marvel, wink, wink. We've seen it happen again and again, and it's a mess. I think it's the primary reason for the deterioration in the quality of films today versus 30 years ago.
Superman eulogy.
Yes, Superman eulogy, the first movie in the death of Superman, the first movie.
Called Death of Superman.
Superman Legacy, what a fucking idiot.
First Batman's called Batman Returns and dies.
Batman finishes. First Batman movie. Batman ends.
No, Batman finishes is good.
Oh, no. Hey, James, we got some movie titles for you.
You need to combine
What's up, bruh?
The Death of Superman and The Woman of Tomorrow. That's what it would
the woman.
Superman
dies. Superwoman most affected.
Yes. Oh, mercy. I've seen it happen again and again, and it's a mess. It's a period, prime reason for the deterioration of film today.
The Death of Tomorrow. That's a good one.
The Death of Tomorrow.
That's a good one.
The most deconstruction you could get. The Death of Tomorrow.
Gunn mentioned on how on Suicide Squad he did no reshoots. That's not
This is
it's
what I
not
mean.
the brag, actually. That
what's going on? Like,
how much did it do opening weekend? 28 mil.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. It flopped, right?
Massively.
But I can't believe we're at the point where it's like, celebrate the fact that we had no reshoots. Like, why the fuck has it become so industry standard?
Dude, James Gunn is fucking pissed at Marvel and Disney. He is taking so many shots at them right now. And that gives context to Kevin Feige when he was asked about James Gunn going to DC, and he's all, well, he's still got some work to do for us for 6 months.
Yeah.
There ain't no good blood between those two. They
for a fact they regret the kicking him out.
They do, and the way they did it.
I have plenty to criticize Gunn for, but he's the last guy who's making a movie for them. Everyone else is following their hyper formulas.
I think his jokes were. I mean, those aren't jokes I would make, but I think they were proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that they were fucking jokes, and he shouldn't have got canceled. I said that then. I say it now. He shouldn't have got canceled. I think a lot of people were happy because James Gunn, he's doing it less now, but he was really, really super political and kind of shitty to people on Twitter. Still kind of is, and he should completely get off Twitter. Because we know where he stands politically.
Get off Twitter.
He brought Tom King.
Superman book.
He brought Tom King into the writer's room. That should be the biggest fucking red flag of them all.
It's all right. Tom King probably went in and went, it's okay, I've got a fucking certificate saying I won't rape anyone.
I wonder if they signed one for the writer's room.
Tom, sit. You got a bit of drool.
Could you please sign this? Is this an NDA? No, this is your, you won't rape anybody.
Yeah. Look, I won't rape no one. I killed Alfred.
What, did he actually kill Alfred?
Yeah.
What's
the
RDA?
The non-rape disclosure agreement.
Yeah. Why did he kill Alfred? Don't know.
No, like how? What did he have happen?
Bane snapped his neck.
Jeez. All right.
Which is one of the worst, probably the worst depiction of Bane I've seen by a country mile.
Yeah, because I guess there may be a way to make that work, but that just sounds unappealing, right? Bane kills Alfred. It's like, okay.
And
says,
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, he did a day of picking up, and it's because of having screenplays prepared before we Yes!
Yeah, see pickups aren't necessarily reshoots. They're reshoots are we are rechanging the story. Pickups are audio was bad.
Audio bad, yeah.
Something, you know.
Or like what are they called when you have like close-up shots of picking up things or something?
Yeah. Or there was something that wasn't consistent that we didn't get right in one shot. Yeah, there's difference.
Yeah, it's called something shots. Whatever. I don't want to get into this massive spending of hundreds of millions of dollars on reshoots. Congratulations. Go to McDonald's, pick up your gold star. What the fuckity fuck, man?
I'm glad that he brought up reshoots a lot because that's what I brought up in my last video. Because every single movie from Phase 4 was massively reshot, and almost every show. The only show that I couldn't find
reshot. Strange, the one that was reshot the most, like to a point.
Yes, to a degree where it was like they reshot the whole movie.
It's insane,
damn near the
man.
whole movie. Yeah,
it makes you think, like, did they just fucking flush a whole movie? And they that's something they casually do.
That's why that big $900 million box office take wasn't that impressive, because we don't know what the budget was, but it ballooned out of fucking control.
And yeah, because I just remember what back like a year before it came out, there was the quotes from Benedict Cumberbatch where he said he has no idea what his character's doing in the film. Like, he's recorded like shit tons of his scenes, but they're also disconnected and out of order. Yeah. He's just like, I don't know, something's happening. Like, he's gonna.
And you've got the green screen issue because it's all just fucking green screen.
Yeah. And
his wig was dog shit.
Oh, his hair changed so much during the film and during scenes. You guys remember? I think the famous one for that is Fantastic Four. She's got dyed blonde and then a wig, and you can tell.
Yeah.
Like, it's like the biggest signifier of when you're watching a reshoot versus the original shot. It's so interesting.
Oh, because she cut her hair for
Ewan McGregor's
House
beard,
of Cards, didn't she?
I think it was in the Clone Wars. Ewan McGregor's beard went from being a real beard on his face to a fake beard, and it was pretty bad. I can't remember which.
Well, I guess
I'm pretty sure it was Clone Wars.
We're not addressing possibly the most famous, actually, is Henry Cavill's mustache, isn't it?
Yes.
You know, at the time I was like, why didn't he just shave it off? Come on, Henry, why don't you shave it off? And then I saw Mission Impossible, and I was like, oh no, I absolutely get it. He was working on a good film there, and that's what he cared about. Then he went to work on the dog shit one with Joss Whedon.
If I was a fucking lawyer for a part of their contract stuff for that movie, and he came to me and said, it's all right, you know, if I just shave off the mustache and put on a fake one for the movie, I'd be like, nah, they'll CGI you like they can do all.
Well, you would think it'd be easier to CGI a mustache on than cover one, but
put a fake one on. There's no obligation. Who are the people who like own the IP for Mission Impossible?
Paramount.
So they have no obligation to fucking
None.
DC in any way, shape, or form. You could have them be like, seriously, guys, you can give him a fake mustache, and they'd be like, no, if that decreases the quality of our movie by 0.0000001%, I don't give a fuck. I'm not taking that. You guys can take the fake lip.
You're the ones.
I wonder if they knew. They were like, this is gonna be so funny.
Spend some of that money on the fucking CGI lip.
It would have been better if we just said Superman grew a fucking mustache.
Yeah, just come. Why don't you just comes out with a beard on, for fuck's sake?
Well, you can't have that in the middle of scenes, though. Randomly, he has a beard. Randomly, doesn't.
No, we should have had a beard in the
beard in all the other scenes. It's just a fucking infinite mess.
Should have come out with longer hair and a beard.
How long does it take to grow a mustache? I can't remember now. It's been so long. I think like
isn't it meant to be?
Month?
Yeah, it's like a month, isn't it, or something? Yeah. To get a full one out.
They just had no obligation, so they clearly didn't give a fuck. And as Ad said, like they're making Mission Impossible Fallout, so they're making something good, so they don't give a shit.
It was like, holy shit, this Tom Cruise vehicle is fucking brilliant.
I remember when I first watched Fallout, I was like, wait, what the hell? This is like great. Like.
Right, I'm going to run through a few supers and then we'll call it, and I'll do a super chat square up on Sunday. So we'll have a afternoon tea with us on Sunday. We've done a lot of talking and you guys have done a lot of super chatting. So I do want to make sure that you get your dues.
Kind of a big day. It's been like quiet-ish on the, I mean, I guess if you count Velma, but it's been pretty quiet on
when
the
does that show end?
front.
I don't want to hear about it ever again.
Which show?
Velma.
Got 2 weeks left this week, 2 episodes, and next week 2 episodes, and then that's it.
I don't know if I'm gonna make it all the way through, but
I'm done after 4. Fuck that fucking piece of dog shit, fucking racist.
Surprised Jim made it to 4.
Well, so am I, but I only made it to 4 because I thought we were going to talk about 3 and 4 on drinkers. Otherwise, I would have dropped out at 2.
I saw that clip from Disbrew where he's covering the whole like take a bit of happiness in a white man being framed falsely or whatever. It's just like, okay, they do a lot of that, huh?
They kind of do.
Imagine being in the writing room, being like, I hope people hate white people enough to laugh at this.
Right.
Right. Let me go through a couple of these. Syndec Media with a $20 says, alert, alert, incoming shameless plug for George the Giant Slayer. He's almost at 60K subscribers and needs 80 more. Let's give him a boost. Mauler, you are the best as you crack me up, and Gary keeps getting better and better.
Wow,
go check out George the Giant Slayer's channel. Subscribe to him right now. If you haven't, you should. George has been great on that channel. It's all him, you know. That's him. He's built it up.
Yep. George's done a great job. We love George.
I can't do it. He's got a beautiful song.
George. Oh, you can't do it?
George. No, my voice it'll cut off. He's got a beautiful soul.
Give me your soul, George. Give me your soul, George.
Ian Soforth with a £20 says, imagine if the zombie apocalypse happened and the Last of Us were in MILF Manor.
That would be great.
We need the crossover. It's gotta happen.
Oh my god, that's amazing. I'm scrolling through. Enoch Mamon with a $50 says, I said that I was out if Cavill was out. My mind hasn't changed. DC is as dead to me on film as it is in comics. Everything I love is dead. I'm getting into 40K because of Cavill. Hopefully he doesn't let us down like everyone else in Hollywood. Fingers crossed.
Keep an eye on it.
Fingers crossed. But I feel you. I mean, apart from Lanterns, I saw nothing. You know, Swamp Thing being an 18, maybe.
But that's still that like does that,
but it's a hard sell.
I love Swamp Thing. I love a lot of the versions of the comics. I think it'll work, but it doesn't like, oh, I gotta go. No. You know, that this was a fucking layup and they blew it.
Yeah.
It's underwhelming.
Oh.
Like even Chris Gore agrees with us. He
Wow.
mentioned it to me. Yeah, he said felt the announcement was underwhelming.
Hugely underwhelming.
Yeah.
Hey, I wonder how many authorities we're gonna have on the Authority tomorrow.
Oh, you're saying people will pretend to know what the fuck the Authorities is?
Oh, they'll be the authority of the authorities.
Yes.
The Authority is
Okay.
my favorite comic from
From
that's what
from
every
Marvel.
the
you're gonna
Crystal
hear
era.
that. You're gonna hear that so much from the Access media.
Oh
You're gonna be
yeah.
like, I am the most excited about the Authority. It's
And
like
it's about time there were 2 gay leads in a superhero show. That's what that's film. That's what we're gonna get. We're gonna get from the media. That's what you're gonna get. So that's the only selling point that they'll for them. The Shadow Loaf Nose with a £20 says, hello there. Just wanted to say, I'm so proud of Mauler for coming out in this stream. It's okay, Muesli. We've all been there. Better to be out than in. I'll link my Grindr profile should you wish to talk further.
we need that Hagrid clip. Better out than in, eh?
Better out than in, eh? No Zaku Boy with a $50 says, who sees into the hearts of men and the undergarments of women? Peeping Tom. Reality has cracked. Strange events as all women, no matter how young, are now middle-aged. Can Tom stop feeding the stale delusions of the MILF-hunting Mother Ducker?
Mother Ducker. She feeds all the ducks.
She feeds all the ducks.
Oh no.
Oh my God. Let's grab a couple more. Josh Kelsey just sliding in, shoving a 20 down the pants, walking off. Nothing even said, just that. Sorry, like I said, we've had a full show already. I will do a super chat squirt where I'll be going through all the missed super chats. Don't worry. Sunday, probably 2 p.m. or 2:30 UK time. And I'll go through everyone. Thank you so much indeed for supporting the channel and super chat. Been a heavy discussion show today. So appreciate your patience. Really do. Thank you so much. Gentlemen, Gary, anything that you would like to plug a Rooney before we meander off into the unknown?
Meander off. We got Melanie Mack joining us on Friday Night Tights, where we'll talk about Phoebe Waller-Bridge taking over Tomb Raider. And that's, by the way, who is owned by the Embracer Group, who also owns Middle-earth Enterprises, who nicely asked Warner Brothers to have their film rights back.
Excuse me.
I'm gonna have to make a video on this article. Like, I think we had a great conversation today. I'm glad Drinker joined us. The chat, you were fucking awesome. You were cracking me up all day. Thank you. But I think there's a lot to break down here. And
just
honestly,
uploaded a MILF Manor video.
Oh, he did. I gotta watch it. Again, I'm disappointed. I didn't think I would be. I thought I would like I said, I thought there'd be a couple projects that I figured would be kind of, DEI projects. That doesn't surprise me. But the fact that they really kind of buried Superman and Batman under all this crap is surprising. It's utterly surprising. And everybody's going to go, well, James Gunn did it with Guardians, and he did. But here's the difference. Guardians, he used the source material from the comic book. He didn't make Guardians up. So the Guardians you saw in the film had a really good comic book series from the mid-aughts, like a really good one that he borrowed heavily from. So he respected the source material, and that Guardians comic was very popular amongst comic fans. And I always say, hey, the source material is popular amongst comics fans. It'll probably be popular amongst the general population because it's a good story. But now we're like massively changing stuff. And the story of DC, and if you're restarting it and you plop in the Authority and a Themyscira prequel. What? That's insane.
What?
So he's got to be he has to write the best Superman story ever written for this to work. Still, that's what I said then. That's what I say now. He has to write the best Superman movie ever made, or this doesn't work. And casting is everything. I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
I hope I'm wrong. I hope this is all fucking great. But
yeah, I'll even admit that there's a chance this could all work. I just I think you're rolling bad odds. That's all.
Yeah.
So, good luck.
It just sounds like more of the same, doesn't it? I mean, does this sound radically different from the old Warner Brothers regime?
It just doesn't sound interesting. It's crazy. The Authority's your second movie? Are you fucking nuts? No, seriously, are you fucking nuts? And the way that he said we're using Batman and Superman to prop up this fucking dog shit, you might as well just said that.
It doesn't even he connected.
Normies haven't got a fucking clue who the Authority are.
He connected to the MCU. It didn't even make sense, right? Because like the Guardians aren't directly propped up. They're propped up by the franchise having ran up to that point for what, like 5 years, something like that.
Yeah, imagine if Guardians was the second movie out.
Exactly.
Iron Man followed by Guardians of the Galaxy. People are like,
talking about Batman and Superman, like propping them up. It's like you don't have your own Batman and Superman to pop anything up.
Prop Batman and fucking Superman
exactly.
up.
You need to actually get them up first.
Yeah.
They're not up.
That's what needs fucking propping. They're your money makers, you dipshit.
You propped up the cart and
it's your fucking money makers.
With the horse behind him pushing it.
No, let's have a fucking Waller TV series and a fucking animated piece of dog shit. And then we're going to have fucking the Authority that's the same as the fucking boys. And we're going to deconstruct our fucking heroes. And fucking, we're going to have Batman and Superman gay couple because that's what they're going to be fucking comparing it all to. We're going to make a laughing stock of our heroes before we've even started our fucking heroes. Then Batman's going to come along and be a bad dad.
It's you're building it on a foundation of sand. The foundation is heroic Batman, heroic Superman, heroic Wonder Woman, Flash, Green Lantern, Green Arrow, Martian Manhunter. Nope, we're getting. I mean, like, I wouldn't have been surprised to hear the 7 Soldiers of Victory. I would have been fucking more excited about that than Authority.
Dude, I'm so lost at this. It could have been like new movie, The Glurg. He's a superhero that fights from the swampland dimension.
The Glurg.
I'd just be like, yeah, whatever, fine, I guess so. Starring Jennifer Lawrence.
Of course.
Jennifer Lawrence, Woman of Tomorrow.
Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And then and then a Supergirl movie.
This
Supergirl, which can't sell a fucking comic to save its fucking life, by the way.
So, if you didn't hear earlier, real quick, the Authority, good comic book run, does not belong in basically phase 1 of DC. Make it its own thing. Again, the Authority is a knockoff of the Justice League, one of 1,000, by the way, a knockoff, darker version, whatever, different version of the Justice League. And you're doing it in phase 1, where you're going to want to build up to a Justice League. Okay. Interesting.
We're not selling. They're not selling to comic book fans. They're selling to the normal person to go to the cinema and watch this. And the Authority was okay. I mean, I don't, if you sold okay, so what? What is okay in comics?
Was okay.
That doesn't mean shit. Comics were selling a lot more back in those days than they are now because there's just nobody fucking there.
Authority goes way back, 20 years.
Yes.
But it was WildStorm.
This is a fucking embarrassment. This was an embarrassment of a fucking reveal. We've revealed that we are gonna utilize our 2 main stars to prop up a bunch of stuff which we know is weak as fuck in the first phase of our relaunch in an 8 to 10 year plan. What happens when the plan goes to shit in the first phase? stop talking about 8 to 10 years. Make one fucking good movie. But we're all fucking consumers. We're all consumers. We're just there to consume.
I was reading that Paramount article yesterday, and they said our consumers in it. They were talking about our and they were the last on the list. They were like our partners, our shareholders, and our consumers.
I got a question before we go. What constitutes a hit for this? Let's say Superman does under $1 billion. Batman does under $1 billion. Is that a hit?
It depends on their budget. Are they going to go 200 million per movie? Because then they'll need $1 billion.
If the $200 million movies,
250 million plus marketing, then you got to make 3 times as much as that, or 3 times budget. I mean, the Batman was a hit. I don't think it cost 200 million to make, but it was a mild hit. I think I expect more from a Batman, especially your big relaunch.
It was 185 to 200 million budget.
So if we have a couple of years where superhero movies aren't the top grossers, like, the top 2 were Top Gun and Avatar, if we have more original stuff coming in, I think that could just absolutely destroy what's left of the superhero genre. Because I'll harken back to what Bruce Campbell said when I watched him at a live event. Hollywood can't wait to get away from superheroes. They can't wait.
Neither can I. Joker was a $50 million budget. It did 1.1 billion.
That's actually incredible, honestly.
Joker beat Batman.
No China.
Beat Batman. No China. Yeah. No China. Beat Batman handsomely by hundreds of millions of dollars.
Like a drum, it beat it.
Like a government mule, as JR would say. What world do we live in when that fucking happens?
It's like all this whiplash from all this shit that it's like, are you excited for the next Avengers movie?
Oh, jeez.
It's going to be going DC. This is good. Superman will be going right up against Phase 5 and Fantastic Four.
He's such a fucking the whole thing. It's Avengers. A circus. The whole thing, all of it.
Joker nearly beat Rise of Skywalker at the box office, and Rise of Skywalker had a Chinese release.
Rise of Skywalker shouldn't have fucking made the money it did make, to be honest with you.
Nope. It was all top heavy.
Unlike Rey.
Well, her head is top heavy. It's a giant head on that woman.
Mauler, is anything that you'd like to play with for you?
Yeah.
Oh, keep an eye out for. I'm going to stream the Dead Space EFAP continuing as per usual, and of course, we're doing minis for The Last of Us, just sort of breaking down each episode as they come out, as you do. We're not doing any more Velma. Stop asking for it, please. Spare us this one time. And I guess whatever MILF Manor is.
Now I'm going to watch it because, well, I have them now. So,
is there any more MILF Manor apart from the 2 episodes, Gary?
I don't know. I'll find out.
I'll make sure to find out.
Send him out. Daddy got to make some cheddar.
Sick bastard.
Oh, dude, the show's sick. Yeah, Melissa loves it.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it with Melissa. That's not something I feel comfortable watching by myself.
You're gonna piss yourself laughing. You are gonna piss yourself laughing. I can't wait to watch episode 2. I can't wait.
What do you think? What would you compare it to? What is the closest thing you could imagine comparing it to?
Sodom and Gomorrah. The fall of Babylon. The fall of the Roman Empire, the fall of the Greek civilization,
the decline of the Western civilization. That's what it is.
Or the rise.
Guys, thank you so much indeed.
Oh, can't wait for the drag show at the Star Wars celebration.
Oh my God. Shroom has got a shroom.
Right at the end.
I love how Az was like, all right, time to end that. Wait a minute.
Wait a minute. Shroom has got a shroom. Maps only. I needed some good chat. I needed some good cringe. And this is just like primo cringe.
What, Velma isn't good cringe? I mean, it is.
No, Velma is just racist shit.
Yeah. Velma crosses the line for me into just like fucking so mean-spirited that you want to hit it with a club, you know?
Yeah. Like there's no story to break down with Velma. There really isn't.
No.
You have to just bullet point all the cringe. That's all you have to do.
It's mainly just one big bullet point.
It's big, dude. It is big. I was like, maybe we should do a top 10 cringe moments in Velma. And like, oh, there's 40. Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's 10
I'd have
an
to have
episode,
a vote.
mate.
I'd have to have a vote on it. Yeah.
Chat. Thank you so much.
Thanks, chat.
Thank you so much for watching. Mods, thank you so much indeed. As I said, there'll be a super chat square up for all the super chats missed. Sorry, your super chat getting read out today. As you can see, we kind of had a lot to say. So everyone who super chatted and membership, all the gifted memberships, Pashy Washy George, Legalize Adulthood, thank you so much indeed for those gifted memberships of support as well. We will be back next week over on Gary's channel, where I'm sure more stuff will just go to shit. And we'll have plenty of stuff to talk about until the fucking universe ends. Until our universe, the Milky Way and the Andromeda system collide.
Oh, did you see that image on Twitter? That was pretty cool.
We'll never run out of things to say.
No.
Until then, gone.
No, I was going to say, I was talking about that with my son because he's like, you haven't put out a bunch of videos. I'm like, it's just a quiet period, but I'm all, don't worry, son. They'll do something.
Yeah. It's coming.
Something will come along.
Until then, you take care. Bye for now.
Bye.